We should, in theory, be live, and if anybody can hear us or see us, let us know.
All right. And do you know what the link will be?
It's I do not, but I can figure it out.
I think if I go to the Incomparable.
Yeah, I think we're
Monty, we're live, so don't say anything too embarrassing.
No personal secrets.
Well, I mean, just not your personal
yeah.
secrets.
You can say embarrassing things about us, but
Oh, it's true.
I have a Roll20 question.
Yeah, go for it.
Is there a way that it's got everybody's picture at the bottom left-hand corner?
Oh, you can hide those.
Yeah, how do you do that?
Go to the gear in the top right, and oh, they changed everything around, so I don't know. I think go to audio video chat, and then go to player video avatar locations. No, player video avatar size, and I have it set to names only, so that it's eating up.
I don't know why that's not the default, because it's super annoying because it takes up too much space.
I think they assume that people actually use the Roll20 built-in things, which I think we have tried in the past, but I've had challenges with.
Yeah. Isn't that how we used to do it? Was the Roll20 video
1 million years ago? And I think there were just, I don't want to say bad things about Roll20, but I think we had challenges across some browsers and things like that. And there may have been things where also it was advantageous for podcasting purposes to be in a program that recorded into it for instead of a browser-based thing.
We are confirmed live and working.
Yay!
Ooh,
all right.
Hello.
Secret Agent, I feel like, is here every time. Hello, Secret Agent. Thank you for being here.
Yes, our viewer.
If you're one of two people watching. I might be the other one of the two people watching. It is a Saturday in January. I don't know where different people are, but it is kind of cold here on the East Coast.
37 degrees and cloudy here in Seattle.
Yeah, it's hovering right around 32 or 34, which is actually up significantly from the last couple of days. The last couple of days were in the single digits, low 20s, and it was I don't know. I one of my things I do, when the world is overwhelming, or as we call it today, the world, is, I go for a nice walk for an hour and listen to a podcast and try and clear my head. And when it is 8 degrees and I do that, I want to die. So
we sat out with the neighbors on the back court last week, and it was so cold that my hands hurt for 2 days afterwards. And I was like, this is not wise.
Mm-mm. You need those hands. Those are for typing, for coding hands.
They are.
Yeah. All right. So I think our energy levels may be an interesting places, but it's 2022. What are you going to do?
We're just
live streams / bootleg.
I was just to say, we're just going to lie down and let the were ravens eat us. That's our energy.
I will remind all of you before we start the episode, this is, I believe, our third session of the Book of the Raven. That was what it was labeled on YouTube. Does that sound right? I was like, is this our second or third session? Okay. Third session. We're going to be picking up in the house. I think the last thing that happened, if I'm remembering correctly, is that a quartet of feathery friends flapped down and approached Townley, who was in the tower of the house. You are a little split up, but you'll be able
yeah, we are.
Yeah. Since basically you moved into different groups to go to different parts of the house. But yeah. And just to remind you of the original premise, you took a request from a bird to go to this house where there were squatters, basically, and the bird wants you to get rid of them. And you traveled quite a long way at the request of a bird. So that's done where we are.
This seems logical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So people have retweeted if they wanted. We have up to 6 people watching. Again, some of those may be 7 now. Oh, excellent. Everything is great. I am drinking seltzer. I will switch to caffeine at the next break. Everything is wonderful. Yeah, caffeine and Advil. That's what I need.
Story of my life.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Total Party Kill. Welcome back to Total Party Kill. It's me, Tony Sindelar, he, him, your dungeon master, and today we are continuing our Candlekeep adventures. Today we are continuing Book of the Raven, a adventure about a book given to our adventurers by, well, a raven. It's a lot of the stuff is covered in the title of the adventure, people. Our adventurers have been given a book by a raven, as I just said. Inside that book, in addition to a strange tale of a woman being taken in by travelers and taken to a spooky castle, is what appeared to be a treasure map. The raven indicated that there are people in a house at the end of the treasure map that the raven needs dealt with. Not dealt with in a deal with them, Tony, but just, dealt with. And so our adventurers have set off through the wilderness at the request of a bird, because that's the kind of adventures we run here on Total Party Kill. But we've gone a long time without me introducing our adventurers, so it is time to do that. I will introduce our players, they will introduce their adventurers, and then maybe I will go into an even longer recap. I don't even really remember how to run this podcast. First up in my Zoom window, first up in my heart, it's Nick Scott. Welcome, Nick.
Thank you very much. I am playing a human barbarian named Neural.
Excellent. Next up, it's Annette Weirster. Hi, Annette.
Hello, I am playing Kakara, who is an Aarakocra in the form of a raven and really likes sparkling things.
Also joining us, it's the one, the only, the James Thompson.
Hello, I am playing Nyasa Nightweaver, she, her, who is a high elf rogue that has brain knives.
Has them, or I have a lot of questions, but I'll move on. There's no time for that. Next up, it's Aline Sims. Welcome, Aline.
I want the commercial for brain knives, or the cure for brain knives.
There is no cure for brain
knives.
knives.
Brain knives.
Ask your doctor if brain knives are right for you. Anyway, I am playing Bellin Greybeard, the mountain dwarf fighter. Our pronouns are she, her.
Thank you,
I'm good
Aline.
at this. I'm so good at this.
We're great. It's, this is the exciting thing about having a podcast that spans from Scotland to the West Coast, is that we have people from a wide range of time zones here, which includes people who it's late in the day and they're tired, and people who are early in the day and they're tired, and then me, solidly midday and tired. But that's not all. We have one last adventure to introduce, and that is, of course, I say of course as if you know who it's going to be, but maybe you do know who it's going to be. I'm not sure how that would be unless you listen to the previous session.
Zoom so I can see who it is.
That's Monty Ashley. Welcome, Monty.
Oh, God,
sorry for
me.
that confusing intro.
Hi, that's Monty Ashley. I'm playing Townley Mountain Taker, he, him. Townley is a human warlock of the Queen of Air and Darkness, and he's got magic eyes, and that's it.
That is indeed it. So you have traveled far from Candlekeep to an old town, to the ruins of an old town, through the woods, navigated by a variety of landmarks. You went into a weird kind of spooky crater, and at the end of that trek over hill and dale, found yourself at kind of an old hunting lodge, a fancy old house in the middle of nowhere. I don't know if you figured it out, but the name of this place is Chalet Brantifax. You've done lots of poking around in weird, disused parts of this house, found some weird, peculiar items lying around, and as you separate to explore the attic, discovered there's different sections to the attic that don't connect to each other, and thus have split the party. All is a classic D&D recipe for success. Townley is in kind of this turret-shaped structure in one corner of the attic. You found, I believe, there was a locked chest of drawers, and as you were kind of poking around at that, 4 raven-like creatures, humanoid bird creatures, flapped down through a hole in the roof and addressed you. I don't remember exactly what I said last time. Should I improvise what I said last time / this time?
I'm pretty sure I said, did you guys make this map? And I showed them the book.
We did not make this map, but you are in our house, and I believe you may have some of our things.
Well, yeah, but look at this map for a second.
The Ravens kind of...
Did you guys know your house is at the center of a treasure map? That's weird, right?
The four, and these are basically kind of half human, half bird hybrid type creatures. They are large bird heads, lots of feathers, wing-like arms. They are clad in kind of black flappy robes, and they've got bright red crimson sashes. Three of them kind of like perch on the edge of the hole leading into the tower here. The one that has been talking kind of flaps down to land next to you, Townley. They all have weapons. They have looks like short swords or rapiers on belts. None of them are drawn, so they're not being openly aggressive. But there are four of them, and you are here all alone. And the first bird kind of reaches out with a feathery wing arm to look at the book and says, "That does indeed appear to be our house. Where did you find this map?"
Well, a bird gave it to us.
A bird gave it to you.
I'm sorry for. I don't know if it's offensive to just say a bird. I think it was.
No, it sounds accurate, but thank you for thinking of us.
A raven. I don't know if it was. I mean, later on, it talked to us.
The bird kind of whirls around and just kind of looks at the three other raven hybrids perched on the thing, and they all just kind of, not me, give confused looks. That is indeed strange.
Yeah, so that's why we're here. We were given a quest.
There are more of you.
Oh yeah, sorry. There's 5 of us.
5 of you, you say. Well, you don't seem evil. I suppose I should introduce myself. My name is Madrina. Madrina Nadarask. These are my colleagues. That's Vanik, Taspar, and Rennick. And you are in the presence.
I'm Townley Mountain Taker.
Indeed. Well met, Townley Mountain Taker. You are in the presence of the Scarlet Sash.
Are they wearing scarlet sashes?
They are wearing, well, I would call them more red, but yes, they're wearing bright red scarlet.
I don't know what the color vision of birds is like, so we can grant them a certain amount of leeway.
Mm-hmm.
Birds have excellent eyesight, don't they?
Yeah, but do they have good color vision?
I'll ask.
That could be offensive.
So, Townley Mountain Taker, a map has brought you to our home. What did you hope to find at the end of your journeys?
Well, we were told there was treasure here, and no offense, so far there hasn't been. And we were told, and now don't take this the wrong way, that there were squatters in the house. And I can't help noticing, again, none of you guys are named Brantifax, and you don't look like this portly baron or tall, thin wife or mastiff that were in a portrait downstairs.
No offense is taken, Townley Mountain Taker.
Are you sure this is your house?
We are not of the Brantifax family. Well, when our kindness found it, it had been abandoned for some years, and we have stayed on for many years since. This is one of the Crimson Sash's main bases that we operate out of.
Question: is it a Crimson Sash or a Scarlet Sash?
Oh, I apologize. Scarlet Sash. Thank you.
All right.
This is one of the main. Thanks, Future. Watch this, Future Erica. This is one of the main bases that the Scarlet Sash operates out of.
Oh.
I don't wish to be rude, but you are wondering about our home. Is it possible that in your explorations, one of your adventures, perhaps not realizing the proper ownership of it, as we are speaking of matters of ownership, came into possession of a small statue?
I honestly don't remember.
Previously on Hell Party Kill, one of you found a very strange statue of I think you rolled some religion checks that did poorly, of a weird kind of demon-looking character.
Right.
I think you found it in some rubble. I forget who exactly has it. Does one of you remember?
No, but
I
think we should
checking my inventory.
We should probably retire to the drawing room and discuss all this.
All right, let's we'll let the conversation with Townley continue.
Yeah.
But yeah, I suspect you'll be regrouping soon.
Okay.
So Townley, you said you honestly don't remember.
I honestly don't remember.
No bluff check required.
Tell you what, since it doesn't seem like you guys are attacking me right now, which I appreciate, why don't you guys and my group kind of all be in the same room and talk this out like humanoids?
Very well. Let us retire, shall we say, to the dining room on the first floor.
All right.
Perhaps we could serve you some food.
Ooh, I shout out,
Hey guys, I found some people who say they live here.
Are you doing that through some kind of psychic link or just by yelling?
I'm yelling.
All right. A muffled voice cuts through several sets of walls across the attic. But we'll assume that you all recognize the signal that it's probably time to regroup, and so you do, because otherwise the adventure will be sad if it's just Townley. The Adventures of Townley.
It's in a
That's
spin-off
I'd
series.
listen.
Finally.
Breakout character. All right.
Townley brackets and his magic eyes.
So you all regroup in I believe you explored this previously. The first floor of the chalet has a somewhat sad, disused dining room, but it's, one of the largest open spaces in the chalet, and most importantly, has the most number of chairs in it. The Scarlet Sash, did I say that correctly?
Yes.
I get that
Yeah.
wrong. Okay.
Yep.
I should remember that it's alliterative. The Scarlet Sash come with you, and some of them move back and forth between the dining room and the kitchen, serving you some, they're kind of here in the wilderness. It's not a very fancy repast, but they've heated up some porridge for you. You notice just kind of coming and going as you get kind of assembled in the dining room. The members of the Scarlet Sash seem to be able to kind of transform into several different shapes. Some of them take on just the full form of a raven to move when that is convenient for them to move around. You notice that one of them transforms fully into a human, and that seems to be he's kind of an elderly man who seems to kind of relax into that form into in the corner. That one was introduced as Taspar, but Madrina seems to be the either official or unofficial ruler and leader and do most of the talking. You get the sense that she's probably middle-aged, and whereas the other ones are either elderly or young, and so she's kind of the seniority member of the kindness, which they refer to as their kind of group here. So there's some kind of small tech chit chat until you all assembled around a medium, I was going to say steaming, but let's just say lukewarm bowls of porridge in the dining room of Chalet Brantifax. Madrina says, "I apologize for the simplicity of the repast, but honestly, we've never had visitors before."
Do you guys know a raven named Huluth?
The were ravens exchange looks and say, "I do not. No, that is not a member of our kindness that I am aware of." That name sounds familiar. I can't put my feather on it. Huluth. The other ravens are all thinking. Some of them do put their little beaks on their hands, or depending on, they may be in more bird form where they just kind of turn their head to the side. But I don't think we know this Huluth that has sent you here. This is most mysterious. Now I'm afraid I must ask again about this statue. You see that came into our tribes, our clan, our kindness's ownership recently. Well, I don't know if you're aware of its properties. It is not perhaps the kind of thing that you want to just be walking around with.
Well, Nyasa reaches into her bag. Even if she didn't have this in the last adventure, it's in her bag now. I mean, you're dealing with a thief. Kind of happens.
Hey!
Yeah, thank you.
And Nyasa puts it on the table and says, "We haven't been introduced. I'm Nyasa Nightweaver. I believe this is yours. And I just want to say that whole transformation thing you're doing is really cool."
Oh, thank you. We're all very proud of our gifts here in the Scarlet Sashes. You see, Diasa, you seem like, well, you've been around. I don't think you want to be traveling with. Well, this is a figurine of Orcus. I don't know if you're familiar with his works. He is the demon prince of undeath. That little figurine, that statue, was carved from the petrified heart of an ogre. It's really not the kind of thing one wants to be walking around with.
Yeah, that seems like you should take care of that. We're quite happy.
Yes, we intend to put it somewhere that hopefully no one will find it ever again. You see, it's just, it's going to send the wrong message. You don't want people who like that statue to find you, and there's also some people that really want to smite with vengeful justice the kind of people that would carry around that statue. So it's just not what you want to be traipsing about up and down the Sword Coast with. It's going to get you into troubles.
I mean, do you want to destroy it? We could probably help with that.
Well, we're not sure how to destroy an object of this significance of power. Usually what we do is when we come into possession, you see that is what the Scarlet Sashes do. We are protectors, but also collectors. We find objects of evil and seek to protect the larger world from them by hiding them away in places that they will not be found again.
That sounds like a very noble vocation.
That is the main charge of the Scarlet Sashes, says Madrina.
Not wishing to sound rude, but are you all of the same raven-y persuasion?
Yes, all members of the.
What does that mean?
Yeah, well, I think your friend speaks of the gift. We are indeed all were-ravens. In order to become one of the Scarlet Sashes, one must be offered, and then one must accept the gift of our thing. You friend, are you seem perhaps of a similar origins to us, but I have not met a raven like you before, says Madrina, addressing Kakara.
Kakara, yes, I am Kakara, and I'm actually quite pleased to meet you because I do not see many other bird folk around. I am not a werebird, but an Aarakocra. So this is my natural birth form to be a bird in a similar dark, feathery form like you. I admire your feathers.
It is fantastic. It is almost like you have been given the gift at birth, while the rest of us had to claim it or be offered it or accept it later in life. It's good to be among other feathered friends, even if we are not of perhaps the exact same. I
ruffle my feathers up and preen a little bit. I know I'm quite good looking for a raven. I just have a question. So, we met this other small raven, and I think he assumes, I'm assuming he perceives you as squatters, but you say you've been here for some time. The place has been abandoned. Do you know why this raven might think you are a squatter instead of just kind of taking care over a space that was not wanted by anyone else? Well, it is true that we do not have any. We did not purchase this place. We are not of the Brantifax family, but when we found it, this place had been abandoned for quite some time, and so we operate from it as if it was our own. I do not know this raven Haluth who says we do not belong here. But I'll be honest, we do not know exactly what happened to the Brantifax family, except that no one from that family has been here as long as we know of. How long have you been here? I believe our group has operated out of here for several years. I only rotated it recently. So we're kind of curious about the treasure that is apparently in your house. And have you ever heard of this or looked for it? And, we came here. We thought we were having a fun treasure hunting adventure, and we'd like to continue that if we can. Well, this strange raven may have sent you on a bit of a goose chase. All the other ravens laugh at this uproariously. I laugh too.
I do not.
I do not know if there of any treasure to be found here. In fact, this is a rather dismal place to find at the end of one's map.
I mean,
Do I believe them?
Yeah, sure. Roll insight.
I rolled a 10.
Seems reasonable. Thing to.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm probably swayed by their birdie charminess.
yeah.
yeah, I think Nyasa is swayed because, she's all dressed in black with scarlet hair. So she's kind of fits the color scheme.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's angling for a job. But anyway, would you mind if we looked for this treasure? And of course, if we found anything, we would split it 50-50 with you.
I suppose it couldn't hurt. I mean, we've been here for some time. I suspect there's nothing of significant interest to be found, but you're free to poke around. I'd recommend, there are reasons that we operate out of here. It is getting dark. Best not to wander outside of the house after nightfall.
Okay, thanks for the warning.
What wanders around out there after nightfall?
Well, and I say this with the belief that you are creatures of good intentions. We are stationed here because the graveyard outside the house is, well, our people's name for it is a shadow crossing. And there are undead creatures that emerge from it every night. We are stationed here to dispatch them and make sure they venture no further into the world and cause trouble for good folks such as yourself. That is our current charge of our flock here.
Every night, undead people come out of the graveyard and just kind of march towards the house, like in rows.
Usually only a pair every night. We fear that if they were not dispatched, if they were not dispatched every night, certainly they would collect, and there would be a real problem.
Do you recognize them?
We do not.
Sounds like
some of them bear strange livery and whatnot, but they seem to be perhaps soldiers or people from some army from long ago.
Every night for years?
Indeed.
I always thought undead were like 1-to-1 for dead people,
Wherever these creatures are coming from, there seems to be a lot of them.
I mean, this seems kind of... Could this be related to the statue?
The statue was only recently brought here.
Yes, but it just seems, we've got a statue of, like, relating to undeath, and we have people coming out of the ground. That seems, a bit of a coincidence.
Yes, well, as this place being a shadow crossing, there's an inherent dreariness around it. I'll be honest, the rest of my kindness does not agree with me, but I'm pretty sure this house is haunted.
Yeah.
Did you ever consider not necessarily desecrating the graves, but let's say digging a moat around the graveyard?
We've tried a variety of things, and it honestly has been most efficient to simply dispatch the two ghouls who emerge every night quickly and return to our other business of still.
Have you considered letting the ghouls do what they want?
We have not considered that.
Oh, you should. Maybe they just want to get inside and have some porridge or something. Very good porridge, by the way.
They seem rather intent on feeding on the living.
Yeah, we're not really in favor of that. So,
are there any other, like, we've kind of looked around your house. Sorry if it looked abandoned. We didn't mean to intrude, but are there any other levels of the house that we haven't seen? Is there a basement?
I believe there is a basement, but it's locked. I've never bothered to go down there.
I think you found the kind of people who want to go down there.
We like basements, really. I don't actually. I like the sky, but sometimes I'm willing.
I mean, if you keep the house secure, stop the undead getting in, we'll have a wee look down there, see if there's anything like an undead generator thing.
So maybe the root cause is in the basement.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
we
it
can
usually
help fix
is.
that.
You know,
An
I
undead
I do
battery
appreciate
pack.
you've basically been in this ancient decrepit old house all afternoon and have basically waited until sunset to go into the evil basement.
Oh,
Well,
we were checking out the evil
that's what
first
one
floor and the
does.
evil second floor and the evil attic first.
and if we
That's
weren't
true.
in the attic,
Yeah.
we wouldn't have met these nice bird people.
It's true. So
So
And just let's get at it.
yeah,
We're fortified with porridge now.
yeah.
Nothing
Yeah.
can stop us.
Exactly.
Mhm.
you can, if you, I don't think you've used anything recently, but if you need it, you could assume that you've had the effects of a short rest. It sounds like you want to go into the basement.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Should we wait until morning before doing it?
No.
No.
Nah.
Nah.
I just wanted to float the idea in case anyone was really pro morning.
I'm definitely not.
Yeah, well, neither am I. By the way, I wish to tell the audience that birds have excellent color vision and can see more colors than humans.
Yeah, they can. I believe they can see ultraviolet or infrared.
Yeah, they've got 4 cones, which some women do as well, which I always find
Spooky.
exciting.
Let's see here. So to the basement. Allow me to set up the basement real quick. Who will lead the way into the basement?
I'll go first.
I can. Oh, okay.
Oh.
I'll be last then.
Wow.
In case,
That's
in
just
case we get a sneak attack. Those gals break through.
I have good night vision,
Me too.
being a bird with apparently
All
4
right.
cones.
Yeah.
so
I
off
have
of the
magic eyes.
landing.
You've
Uh,
never mentioned it.
Yeah. Breaking
How did you
news.
get those, Townley?
Oh, it's a long story. And it goes like this.
One short rest later.
So it looks like no one has been down in the basement for quite some time. You do discover that the lock to the basement door is rather rusted, but we'll just say that probably. Do you have a rogue? I forget. How
Yes,
we...
I'm a sort of
Nyasa?
multi-purpose.
All right, Nyasa tries to
Pick that lock. Pick that lock.
Nyasa, give me a quick lock picking check.
Okie doke. Well, I rolled a 16, and I'll probably add something large to that.
All right, you manage to kind of basically destroy the rusted contents of the lock. This door will never be lockable again. It may not even kind of close flush anymore. Beyond the door is a short set of stairways leading down into the damp basement cellar beneath Chalet Branifax. You head down. It's a kind of narrow, cramped set of stairs opening into a open space made of rough mortared bricks. The ceiling here is only about 8 feet high. Wooden ceiling above you. You can hear the sound of the various members of the Scarlet Sash moving back and forth above you on the first floor. So this seems to be a disused storage area. There's stacks of crates, barrels, old furniture stacked along the northern wall, covered in a relatively thick mass of dust and cobwebs. You see a door in kind of the southwest corner hanging open, looking into some kind of dark circular room, and another little storage room off to the southeast.
I am going to go in into
All right.
like
Nyasa will follow.
Okay.
I'm like just gonna kind of just go into this main part here and take a look around.
Mm-hmm. You feel like the air pressure is almost different down here. The air is really stale and weird. And Kakara, is it your imagination, or did you actually hear? It sounds like an old man's voice saying, "I can't get out." Nobody else hears this.
I am not sure, and I feel puzzled. But I tell everyone, I'm like, I think I hear something. I think I heard someone say they can't get out.
Do we
And
want them to get
do you
out?
have any sense of where it might have come from, or it's just
Sounds
my
like
ass
it
of
came southwest.
putting things in my head? I start to head toward the sound.
You head across the. I'll assume that you have some kind of light source.
I have
Kakara.
night vision.
You have night vision. You
Dark
head
vision.
dark vision.
I do too.
Which is good
Me too.
because it's dark here.
I think we can pretty much.
Is it dark or is it completely black?
I think it's dark. I think there might be a
Then
little
I
bit
can-
of light coming from above.
That I cannot see.
Okay. Townley hangs out by the bottom
I
of the
give you
stairs
a
where there's
wing.
still light from.
You
Yeah.
can hold my wing if you like.
Yeah. Just feel along in the darkness in this horrible.
Maybe we should like have a light source for the night vision challenge.
I'm going to light a torch. Is
There you
everybody
go.
okay with that?
That is okay.
You
I'm
know,
going to light a torch as well.
we don't
All
need
right,
it, but
Two of you light torches that illuminate. You see the stacks of old furniture, the damp puddles of water or slime on the floor. It's cold here, as for those of you that have bare feet in contact with the floor. It's just kind of dank. Doesn't smell the greatest. Kakara, you lead the way south. There's a door that you pass. I guess it would be to your left that looks closed. I think I already revealed the door beyond the map. Don't worry about that. But there's a strange kind of circular chamber ahead of you. It feels, this is a great word that the adventure uses, sepulchral. So yeah. Kakara
I
looks
say,
like you.
this feels sepulchra.
Thank you. You head into this strange little circular room at the end of the basement. The only feature of this damp, cold, circular room is a well in the middle of the floor, in the middle of the chamber. Next to the well shaft sits a wooden bucket fastened to a coiled length of rope.
I
Yeah.
lean over into the well and I go, caca.
Caca, caca, caca. It echoes back. It seems like the well it's a 4-foot diameter well. You can't see the bottom. It's darkness. And from somewhere in the well comes a voice whispering back to you, Kakara, just barely audible. Anyone who wasn't poking their head over the well could definitely not hear it. And it says something like, Born, where are you, boy?
And I say, I'm not born. I'm Kakara.
Rourn was the name of the family dog, according to my notes.
yeah.
I did not, I don't remember details well, so I did not pay attention to that at all.
I would like to stick my head over the well, holding my torch away, hoping that my devil's sight, which allows me to see in total blackness, will let me see what's at the bottom.
We can close the door if it makes it darker.
Yeah.
Would that help?
So you look down, and with your, well, it's not devil's sight. I mean, then I know the name of the power is devil's sight, but your queen of air and darkness sight, I don't think she'd appreciate being referred to as a devil.
Oh, the Queen of Air and Darkness sight covers a lot of different things.
Oh, okay.
Please read this.
You look down, and you're able to see in the pitch black darkness that is a well at the bottom of a haunted basement. The shaft of the well seems to be about 60 feet deep. You see that there is, or at least 60 feet down to the cistern of water at the bottom. But you can see, I'm going to even say that the water is particularly clear, and you can see in that water, in that pitch black darkness, there's some kind of object sparkling in the dark there.
There's an object down there. It's sparkling, which is weird considering the lack of any light that would normally cause it to sparkle.
I am very interested.
Must be the work of the Queen of Air and Darkness, I
Yep.
say.
Go ahead,
And-
Abby.
Well, I was gonna say, I know Kakara. I know you can just probably just fly down there, float down there, but I don't feel
It's probably hard to
comfortable.
navigate.
Yeah, it's like it might be a little
in the
narrow.
shaft. Yeah. I don't know if you can fall.
get
You
my
can fall. If you'd be
wingspans.
great at falling. I think
can-
all of
yeah, I
you,
could-
all of you
well,
are qualified to fall down a well.
I might be able to fall with
Style,
Yeah.
Yes.
you can Buzz Lightyear it.
yes, exactly.
And we do have a rope to get you back up.
Yeah.
I was Well, but
I mean, maybe this thing is sitting in a bucket at the bottom of the well, which would be really convenient.
We could also I could talk because I don't know if anyone else can hear, but I heard him. So we could ask who he is.
I mean, I don't want to be the person to point this out, but whoever it is has been at the bottom of this well for several years, undisturbed. There's also undead creatures outside. Again, I'm not saying it's a coincidence, but...
Well, surely we need them to be in the graveyard and not in the well. For one thing, it cannot be good for the well.
Well, nobody's drinking this water. Well, I hope nobody's drinking this water because it's probably haunted. But
is the bucket at the
haunted
bottom
water.
of the well?
Ooh,
Sorry,
that
what was the question,
That's a
Nick?
product.
Is the bucket at the bottom of the well?
No, the bucket, I believe the bucket is just there at the end of a rope next to the well.
Okay. I have 50 feet of rope.
Mhm.
I think we all do probably.
Yep.
Does anybody have any... if I...
And I would say
rope?
the bucket is already connected to, let's say 75 feet of rope.
Enough rope to get to the water, probably.
Yeah.
yeah, that's usually how wells work.
And there's like, a well apparatus so that you could raise
Maybe
and lower
you can
the bucket
get
of
that
water.
sparkly thing if you like water and the sparkly thing.
So what do people think about me trying to clamber down the rope? And
I mean, I'm
see
all
what's
in
at the bottom
favor
as
of
well.
it.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Do it.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. So I will
All right.
climb down the rope.
So Neural, you pick up the bucket, drop it in the well. A second passes and you hear it sploosh.
I'm also going to have a second rope. I'm going to use the rope that I have with me that I'm also going to put down at the same time.
Excellent. You're not going to trust the 100-year-old rope that's here.
No.
The moldy rope.
Do you need light?
Yes, I'll need somebody to probably, unless I can somehow hold a torch at the same time.
In your mouth.
Yeah. I'll need somebody to at least hold a torch down the well.
I mean, I can shoot a firebolt down the well.
All
right. I am climbing down.
All right.
We've made a human claw machine.
Give me a quick do it either athletics or strength. They're probably the same stat for you to descend the well. It shouldn't be too hard for an adventurer such as yourself. I mean, the well has it has masonry kind of rocks, so it's smooth and climbable, though probably damp. So it shouldn't be too hard.
Oh,
great!
I rolled a natural 1.
Oh no! Splash!
Classic.
Give me a quick acrobatics check to catch yourself as you fall halfway down the well.
I roll 12.
Okay. You manage to catch yourself, but you do fall, I'm going to say, a decent way down the well shaft, and you kind of bang against the side of the well as you grab the rope and try and reorient yourself. You take a good 13 damage, which is a combination of banging your head on the side of the well and rope burn on your hands.
I shout down, "You've got this!"
And Neural, you hear the voice say, "Rorn, is that you?" As you kind of are clinging to the rope halfway down the well. So it's only 30 feet down at this point.
Okay, well, I'm going to continue descending.
All right, give me another athletics check and don't roll a critical fail this time.
Okay. All right, this time I get 22.
Excellent. You deftly, but strategically and carefully and quickly climb the rest of the way down to where the bucket is kind of bobbing in the water. It looks like the water is not too deep here, maybe the 5 or 6 feet of water, and it is extremely clear. You see perhaps the object that glinting in whatever torchlight is bouncing down the well shaft from above. It looks like something kind of gold and shiny, and it's hooked on there's just like a little kind of peg sticking out from the side of the well shaft that it got maybe caught on. It doesn't look like it was placed there so much as perhaps left behind there. Looks like maybe a locket or something on a shiny chain.
Well, I'm just going to try and grab that.
All right, you take it.
Okay. Is there anything else that I can see down here of any interest? I basically just ask, is there anyone here?
A strange voice whispers back, "No."
Ah,
I can hear you. Who are you?
"This is my house. Please leave."
What is your name?
Baron Brantifax.
Are you trapped in this well?
In a way.
I'm here on purpose.
In a way, so he's not like fully trapped in the well.
Well, because some
Okay,
idiots
you guys-
will go and get him.
Do you guys have any thoughts on what else I can do down here, or should I head back up?
I mean, if there's no obvious skeletons or other...
There does not seem to be, despite the fact that you are hearing a kind of ghostly presence whisper to you, there is no sign of anything else here in the water.
Does anyone think I should drink the water?
Maybe bottle some and bring it up.
Okay. So
But-
I gather some water in a flask
Yep.
and bring it up.
All right. We'll say maybe your friends help raising the bucket so that you only have to kind of climb half as much, and you, without too much trouble, clamber out of the well.
This is so much work. Why did we let the strong guy go down the well?
The heaviest guy, probably. But yeah,
Kakara has hollow bones. This would have been simple.
And she likes shiny things.
Mhm.
I do.
So you have a flask of well water and
Yep.
some kind of shiny locket.
Did the voice
Alright.
seem to be coming from the locket?
No, it seemed I mean, you had the locket, and it seemed to be coming from the bottom of the well.
Okay.
So, I basically show the locket to
Mhm.
the rest of the gang. And,
Somebody give me a quick religion check on the locket.
And minus
9.
one.
Still good at religion, everybody.
I
3.
rolled a 14.
There's a lot of religions to keep
Wow.
track of in D&D, man.
There are a lot of religions.
It's not a
sadly.
religion I'm familiar with.
I rolled an
8.
11.
All right, Neural, the most pious of barbarians. Whether you're, I don't know if you're a practitioner or just a studier of the, you paid attention to that one religion elective you took in barbarian school. You recognize that the little locket, it does seem to be a locket that would kind of open, but it is styled in the symbol of the god Sun, Sune, who is a god of love and beauty.
I assume the locket is closed. Is there a way to open the locket?
Yeah, you easily open it. You figure this locket probably has about some monetary value, about 25 gold pieces. Inside the locket, there is a tiny portrait, and you recognize it as looking very similar, because it is probably the same person as you saw previously depictions of, I believe, of the Brontovax family. This seems to be the Baron's wife.
Well, I hand the locket over to Kakara for safekeeping.
I put it on.
For safekeeping.
Safekeeping.
Mhm, exactly. I'm just taking care of it. I won't lose it around my neck.
Let me just ask a Dungeon Master question here. Do any of the players, it's up to you if your characters have pieced together, have a sense of what is going on here with the well?
No.
Nope.
No.
I mean, I think people ended
We
up
ha-
going down the well at some point, but
Clearly, we have to find the zombie dog and throw it down the well to satisfy
Yes.
the
I mean,
ghost of the
the
Baron
elder
that's
god.
down there.
Exactly.
we did find a hand in previous adventure. Well, this adventure. Which was an odd thing to find, but it was like some kind of like prosthetic hand or something.
Like the ghost of the Baron is down the well.
The Ghost of the
and
Baron seems to be tethered to down the well, though there does not seem to be any sign of the body of the Baron.
Which is interesting.
The body of the Baron is presumably out there in the graveyard.
It's true. Or at least, I believe somebody poked their head into the graveyard.
I did.
forget. Okay. I don't know if you
Mhm.
read all the gravestones or not.
I mean, the fact that it was his presumably true love in a locket down the well, You would think he would
Or
be in some...
was his dog his true love?
Well, I think
That's what
Yeah,
we call
he
it.
has been
saying, "Are
asking
you-"
about for the dog. Yeah.
It may also just be that you all look as more likely he is to mistake you for his dog than his-
What we should have done is when he said, "Are you?"
Did you just
the
call
dog?"
me a dog?
No,
He was at the bottom of the well. He
I
could
called
not
you
see
a
us.
character.
Tony just called me a dog.
Mm,
Kakara's offended.
If somebody asks if you're a dog, say yes.
mm,
You say, okay, well,
Reference acknowledged.
Thank you.
yeah.
we could say such a thing to a ghost when he asks us that question again.
We would say woof, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Yes, agreed. Agreed. We should do that.
I bark into the well.
Nothing happens in response.
We should have a look at the other rooms around this bit, just in case we're missing some
Okay.
vital clue.
There's one room of the basement that you have not explored. The door is closed to it. And in fact, as you take a look at it, the door to this room seems to be like it's kind of like swollen in the frame, perhaps because of some moisture. So somebody may need to break this door down.
Well,
I'll
we've
give it
got
a-
a
I want to
very-
do it.
I was going to say we've got a damaged barbarian, but
You also have a dwarf.
Ali, go ahead.
What do you want, Tony? Strength
I
check?
want a strength check.
Oh. Just checking to see if I get advantage for some reason.
Mhm.
7.
You slam a shoulder against the door, and it kind of like bends and flexes, but stays intact.
I was just
Neural.
so excited
Yeah,
to
yeah.
hurl myself at a door that I just...
let's all hurl
Ner-
us.
Neural, you want to try while Bellin is rubbing her shoulder?
Sure. Let's see what happens here. I get a 13.
All right, the door shatters off of its splinters off of its hinges.
Loosened
and-
up for you.
Yeah, and there's revealing a cold, windowless room beyond. This room has a pair of wood frame beds, 2 narrow wardrobes, and an old rug. Mounted on the east wall beneath the beds is a wooden shelf with a pair of candlesticks. It looks like this might have been sleeping quarters for, you might guess, maybe servants, based on, that it's in the basement and looks functional but not ornate in any way whatsoever.
All right.
Well,
I'm going to give the room a good searching.
Yeah, let's all
Along with
rummage.
Anybody else who wants to?
Yeah, I'll have a go.
All right. Give me a quick perception checks to poke around in the servants' quarters.
I rolled a 23.
All right.
10.
You are poking around. Neural, you do not find anything. Nyasa, you are poking around, and you find under one of the there's just like a very sad flat. It's like at first you thought it was like maybe like some kind of small square sheet, but seems like possibly at one point it served as like a pillow for somebody, and under that pillow there is a pewter spork.
Andy.
The servants' quarters, unless you need a pair of old candlesticks, seems otherwise not to have anything exciting in it.
I mean, we've established that this is a point and click adventure, so we should just take the candlesticks with us.
You're
And
it's just-
spork.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We haven't
Use
done any
spork
searching.
with. Yeah, we should have a look at the top bit as well, because I don't think we.
Yeah.
I was thinking too.
I'm already rummaging over there.
All right.
Okay.
Kakara, you're rummaging through the stacks of stuff. There's some, looks like crates and barrels that are empty. Perhaps the various foodstuffs were delivered to the manor, to the chalet that way. But there's also stacks of old furniture. Seems like rich people are always storing furniture that they, kind of cycle in and out. You find 6 chairs, 2 hutches, an ottoman, an empty cabinet, a desk size for a child, and a coat rack. All of it
I
is
am
dusty
unimpressed.
and smells like basement.
Yeah, I do not want any of this. furniture.
I feel like as adventurers, you're not really in the furniture collecting.
I mean, if we were going to have a
trade.
party in the house, some extra chairs might be useful. But
I'm gonna go back to the well area and do a thorough
Mhm.
search around that room.
don't fall down
Sure.
the well again.
I won't. I'll be careful this time.
This
so
time.
I'll do some perception. I roll an 11.
You're poking around. It seems like it is empty of anything exciting beyond what you've discovered so far, which is to say haunted well bucket. As you're heading back out, you hear a kind of familiar voice say, "Bjorn, where are you, boy?"
I bark back.
It doesn't seem to be any recognition from the well.
Before we leave, I yell down, Baron, what do you want?
Bjorn?
Okay.
Yep.
Let's-
We
let's-
just definitely need to
find
get
a-
this guy his dog.
Let's find a
His
dog
dead dog.
skeleton. Oh, we could,
Okay, that does it. Let's go outside and see if Roran is buried in the graveyard.
Yeah, we
I'm
need,
doing
we need
this.
some dog bones and not bones.
There's only
for a
2
dog.
undead out there.
Well, they may
You
have
had-
dispatched them already. They've been,
It's true.
we've been down here a while.
All right, you head out. It is now solidly after dark.
We should have probably told them about the haunted well, but
That's okay. And we'll say that you.
That's okay.
Tony doesn't mind.
I'm not. I take no offense. You head out. You're two of the kindness are stationed in the graveyard, Madrina, and you think it's Vinique, and they seem to be stationed there, just kind of minding their own business, waiting, looking up at the kind of full moon in the sky. They have laid out, ready to kind of go to work, a set of shovels and a set of swords.
So we've
Hey
got.
guys, you got a haunted well down there. You know about it?
I was going to do the good news, bad news thing.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh,
It's like
in the basement.
good news, you've got a well. That's going to add quite a lot to the value of the house.
That does
Bad news.
explain some.
Haunted.
Well, I suppose that explains some of the strange noises we occasionally hear at night.
It appears to be haunted by the man of the house.
The Baron.
Yes.
Strange. He's one of the few graves here we haven't had any trouble with. Madrina kind of points to one of the 4 graves.
Is the dog buried? Have you seen any indications of a smaller burial plot?
Yeah, it's right next to the Baron's.
Excellent.
Does the dog? Is it one of the bodies that comes up and you have to kill every night?
No, it's very strange. We call it a shadow crossing. The creatures that rise from the grave are not buried there. We have excavated it under sunlight, and they are not there. It's something else comes through every night.
Do you mind if we just dig up the dog? It might break a curse.
Can I ask why you think that might break a curse?
We've done a lot of this kind of thing, and
Have you?
Not this specific kind
Not-
of
I
thing.
mean,
You
yeah,
understand?
lot of
Overselling.
adjacent.
dog ghost burial situation.
We've busted a lot of ghosts, and
Yes.
the ghost in the well is asking for Bjorn. So we're thinking maybe we.
So
It's-
you think the Baron still haunts the well?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think there could be a link to your undead problem.
Look, I'm not going to tell you how to do your job. I'm just thinking, probably he's buried there, and perhaps I guess would that mean that he died in the well, such that his spirit is tethered there? Maybe there's some business that's incomplete of his, and that he needs help with. I don't know. Have you found anything of his that might be important?
I remember I have a locket that I'm wearing, and I show the locket and open it and say, we found this at the bottom of the well. We think it's his wife's locket.
His second true love.
That or the treasure described in this map, which I'm still really curious about who made this map.
I mean,
Sometimes
again,
treasure is spiritual.
look,
Obviously,
that locket is probably worth something. You're welcome to it. Finders keepers. We honestly don't have any interest in going down into the basement. Again, I expected it was, or suspected that it was a haunted. It sounds like you have confirmed that it's haunted. I don't know. If I was looking to perhaps help that spirit move on, I might consider, planting that in the ground over there with the good Baron. But none of my business. Probably be able to sell that for something.
Maybe we should try planting the locket with the Baron.
I mean, the worst. Yeah, I mean, what's the worst thing that happens?
Kakara's a little sad because she's already been sort of like sketching in her pocket the picture she was going to put in of her friends.
Madrina says, "Look,
fine.
I don't. I don't want to tell you how to do your job. Vinique, let's give them a little bit of time in the graveyard. They can figure things out. We'll be back before midnight. That's usually when the action happens." Madrina and Vinique.
I
leave the shovels.
I take off the locket, ready to use my talons to dig a little hole and bury it with the Baron.
Okay, so there are 4 gravestones in the graveyard. Again, I think only one of you poked your head in the graveyard when you first arrived here at the chalet. So the graveyard is surrounded by this kind of relatively substantial 7-foot tall wrought iron fence. It is a small graveyard. There's a gate on the north side, which is where Madrina and Vinique were hanging out, and set into the kind of the arch of the gate is the name Brantifax. 4 graves, each marked with an engraved headstone.
And what are the names on each of the headstones?
Do you want to head into the graveyard and inspect the headstones?
No, we're going to look from outside.
Yeah. They're pretty faded, and there's a decent amount of weeds that have grown up around each side. So you're probably going to have to get close to read them.
I go in knowing that I can fly right out again. I fly over the fence.
I'm quite dexterous, so,
All right. Neural heads to the northernmost gravestone. You kind of push aside the weeds, and it's a little hard to say in places because it is pretty weather-worn and ancient and looks like no one has upkept it. It does say Baron Brantifax, husband, father, hunter. And then in quotes below it, let no man stand above another. Nyasa, you are at the grave, and as you kind of clear stuff here, it does seem like this grave is kind of adorned with a lot of kind of, there's bone imagery, but not like skeleton bone, more like cartoon dog toy bone imagery. And it says Brorn, Brorn, Hound of Brantifax, faithful to the end.
I found the dog, everyone.
Kakara, there's 2 gravestones over on the south side. Which one are you looking at first?
I'm looking at the number 3, the one between me and Nyasa.
The one between you and Nyasa. Oh, this one, it seems to be, it's kind of styled with some it's a smaller gravestone. It's got some kind of floral imagery to it. And in the middle of it, it says, Heluth, Heluthe, our pride and joy, lost too soon.
Aha.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think that's probably important. There's 1 gravestone left.
I turn and look at the other one.
That one says Sylphine, Sylphene, beloved daughter, may she find peace at last. Sylphine's grave shows signs of, whereas the other ones have clearly have grass growing up all around them and are actually kind of overgrown. Sylphine's grave has clearly been either recently filled in or recently dug up, but it is not overgrown. It seems safe to assume that this is where the ghouls that the Scarlet Sash spoke of emerge.
I'm beginning to suspect that our raven friend may indeed be a were-raven.
Are there years of death on the tombstones, and are they different?
There are not. This is old-timey days.
Do the tombstones seem like they're equally old?
I would say that they do seem, yes, I think that it's safe to say that they are equally old. I will say that I think that it would be hard to tell if they were any different in age.
The Baron's is weird to me because presumably he was the master of the house. And I think it's weird to bury him, give him a tombstone, and then leave the house empty.
Yeah. I mean, the one unaccounted for member of the Brantifax family would be the Baron's wife, right?
Who I think.
Yes, I was just going to say that there is no Baroness.
And
Grave.
I mean, there was a Baroness in that you have seen multiple images of her, and I believe even had her journal that you found up on the second floor.
So this raven that wanted the people out the house, who says there's people squatting in the raven's house, and we have a person missing, and we have were-ravens. I'm not saying it's a coincidence, but
why would, if he was a were-raven, why wouldn't he appear to us as a person and say,
because would you go on a quest if a random person dropped a book on you? Probably
yes.
not.
That's more likely than going on a quest if a bird drops a book on you.
I mean, I think
beg to differ.
Most quests come from people, not birds.
Yeah, but
no offense, Kakara.
But good quests, I would argue, come from birds. I mean, it's clearly going to be an interesting
I disagree. There's no treasure here. This map said there's treasure. There's nothing.
Spiritual treasure. We're gonna
this quest is a bust, and you know it.
No, look.
Do real quests come from people, or do they come from birds? Is there a treasure to be found here at Chalet Brantifax? What is the deal with this shadow crossing? Where do these ghouls come from? And is that something our adventurers care about? Or are they simply here to make friends? Friends with the kindness of were-ravens called the Scarlet Sashes. For answers to questions such as these, tune in next time to Total Party Kill. Monty and James continue to argue as the music.
I'm just struck by the timelessness of the question. Do the best quests come from birds?
Do the best quests come from birds?
Erica, if you could put Tony's interruption a little earlier than that, so it is while James and I are arguing, and then fade us out during his for answers such as these. That would be.
And I just want to say, I felt bad interrupting the argument because I thought it was a pretty legitimate argument. And honestly, I don't think there's gonna be a better.
It can continue.
I don't think it was going anywhere.
Fade in on it.
As we fade in, we'll still be arguing.
Yes.
I wanted to tell you that this will be cut out, but this is here from the live stream / bootleg people. I think I kind of like this adventure. It is the weirdest adventure in the Candlekeep book, and it had some pretty harsh reviews from people who basically said this adventure doesn't make any sense. And
it's because they're not birds.
Yeah, I think that there are many parts of the adventure that don't make sense, but I find that somewhat charming. So
I think in a D&D world, this is going to happen a lot, where you're going to find a map and is this a current map, or is this a map to something that somebody looted 20 years ago? We don't know.
There's probably somebody's got a book on 101 haunted wells.
The house has both were-ravens living there and also a ghost. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot going on.
The comedy potential for that situation alone.
We've been playing for about an hour, so let us take a short break, and we will return and play some more Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know if we're going to play one more session or two more sessions today, but we will play, I think, assuming everyone's game, at least one more session, live stream / bootleg. But we are going to grab snacks and or beverages and or not stare at a screen for a couple minutes before we do that. So we will be right back.
It is done.
All right.
We are back.
I don't know what's going to happen in this next session.
Neither do we.
All right. Live stream bootleg. We are back. We're streaming on the YouTubes. I think there's 12-ish people watching. Everything's great. We're back as far as you know, James.
Yeah, all the
All right.
dials are moving. Or
The dials are moving.
no, the dials
That's
shouldn't
all we
move.
can ask for.
The meters are moving.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Any questions? So you people were discussing some healing stuff on the break. Remember to do that in the actual episode proper.
Yep.
Yeah.
Before we dig any dogs up, I think we should give Neural some berries.
It's true. Welcome back to Total Party Kill. It's me, Tony Sindelar, a dungeon master. He, him. We are continuing Candlekeep, Book of the Raven today. Let's get into it. Things are very exciting, by which I mean to say I have no idea what's going to happen next. Our adventurers are standing around a graveyard, figuring out who and what they're going to dig up. Speaking of digging up, it's our first adventurer, Monty Ashley. Everything froze.
Oh dear.
Or just Monty?
Monty
I
is.
think it's just Monty.
I thought Monty was
Okay.
just really still.
He looked really
He's like
intense.
either that or he fell asleep while podcasting.
Or I said the wrong thing. Let us take this moment to make sure that we're all still recording.
Yep.
We're still streaming.
Monty
we made-
says my computer just crashed hard. So
All right. Well, that's, you know what? The time to just crash hard is right now because we'll just start the episode over once he's back.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't have anything exciting to say to the listeners right now. Sorry.
I would just like to. Fun fact is like I don't know how, but there is cat hair all over my microphone, and so I
You do own a cat. It would be.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how can
I
you
own
say I'm not
4
sure how?
cats. Well, you know, like, but are they usually touching my microphone?
Microphone?
No.
Apparently, at
Are-
least
are
one of
they
them. Can
recording?
you tell which cat it is?
Basically,
You
cat
know what?
hair is
It's
just in
actually
the
they're
air.
all gray and black, so it's really hard to tell.
I think your cats have secretly started a podcast.
Oh.
You know what?
record
They
it
are
at
literally podcats.
Yeah,
Catcast.
yeah. It's all about the life of cats. And
Maybe it's just like cat ASMR. That would be.
just purring. Yeah,
It's a lot of purring.
I have watched YouTube videos. There's a guy I watch these YouTube videos from a guy who has a farm in Vermont, and he does a lot with putting cameras on his various farm animals, and so you get the mainly dog and cat. I think those are the most compliant with it, where he has like a little camera that he just puts on their probably on their collar. But he has several videos that are like, you know, here is 10 minutes of an hour of the cat's point of view sped up that are kind of charming, mainly because like it's right below the cat's mouth and the cat just purrs the whole time, so it's just you hear like
Aw.
purr, purr, as the cat's like jumping and running along.
I've watched some of those. It's kind of like cat
ledges and
parkour.
whatnot. Yes.
And I like parkour and I like cats, so it's pretty good.
Do you do parkour? I need to know.
Me, no.
Yes. So you
my-
like it in the idea, not like it
I
as
like
in
it
go around
in the sense that I
parkouring.
will happily watch District 13 multiple times, but
I was gonna say
Okay.
maybe you like it doing it in video games.
yes, I do it in video games. I do it in D&D. In real life, I would fall between 2 large pieces of concrete and never be seen again.
Mirror's Edge is basically post dystopian parkour, the game. It's a very fun game.
Yes.
So
Parkour.
It's
I
that
had-
ASMR
Isn't it The
parkour.
Office?
yeah.
When I was teaching in person, I had some students who were into parkour and they were running around a very concrete campus.
Yeah. There's a lot
Doing-
about your lowest bid 1960s university campus have a lot
It's
of
called
yeah.
brutalism.
Yeah.
brutalism. So.
Well, it wasn't even that. It was Arizona, and
Arizona
pretty much
is-
everything. was
Arizona
concrete.
brutalism.
Yeah. It was actually a very new campus, but
Yeah, I have seen
Did
people
they get
do-
injured?
I
'Cause that seems
would
like
imagine, but-
Hard, like parkour in a lot of concrete just seems dangerous.
And a lot of concrete. Not only that, but like 120 Fahrenheit. So like
Right.
hot concrete.
I am sure if you look on YouTube for parkour fails, you can probably fill your afternoon with serious injuries.
I don't like watching those because
No, I
they
hate
just,
that too.
like,
I like.
I don't
No,
want
I
to see
can't-
people get injured.
I can't.
Yeah,
watch
I want to
people
see a
get
cat
hurt.
climb a fence. I don't want to
Exactly.
see someone fall down some stairs.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't like that. There's a lot on TikTok of cats missing jumps and things like that. I don't enjoy it.
I don't need to see that.
No.
I want to see
I mean,
success.
I think it is important to think of cats as beautiful, graceful creatures, and also silly morons. So I think I appreciate that they run the gamut from your jeans to your jorts for people familiar with.
I am aware of that reference.
Yes.
Squeaky, all in one.
I will say squirrels, having done quite a lot of studies of them over the last 2 years, also beautiful and graceful, also incredibly stupid.
Yes, every now and then when they fall, it's assuming they're okay. Yeah, I've seen
I
squirrels
like-
fall from a great height, hit what would hit streets, and then just keep going. So
Also,
they seem durable.
if you put a peanut down in front of them, they will run up to it and then look around and go, "Where's the peanut?" It's like, it's right here. I mean, your whole thing is that you take these peanuts and you hide them places. You can't even find one that's in front of you. I don't know how it works. I think what actually happens is everybody's finding everybody else's peanuts that they've hidden and just think it's their one. It's like, oh, I'm so good at this. But it's just because the entire trees are full of little nuts that have been hidden. But they're adorable. And we have...
It's Monty.
It is
Hello, I lost my recording.
Oh no.
Oh
Oh
no.
no.
Well, that's why we've got a Zoom recording, which is not the best, but we got it right.
Yeah.
Better than nothing.
It's okay. Let us know when do what you got to do, Monty, but we'll start when you are ready.
We can continue our scintillating bootleg conversation about cats and squirrels and parkour.
an ASMR. Combine all four of those, and we've got a podcast. I don't know if you could put a GoPro on a squirrel.
Have to be a tiny one.
Yeah.
I
Have to be a
never
very
tried.
cooperative squirrel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the ones they must put on cats must be pretty small, but
I am not happy with the state of the power cord on this laptop.
Is it not powering the computer?
It is not.
That is not great.
It currently says battery status 8%, even though it is plugged in and has been the entire time.
next question. Do you have another one?
No.
Ah.
Well, let's go for it and see how it goes. I am recording.
Okay, we will try.
How far does 8% get you?
I don't know. It might stay steady at 8%. It might just not go up at all. We'll see.
Yeah, I would probably just make sure you kill anything else that's running. I've had computers with bad battery
It's up to
issues, and it's
9%
like,
now.
Oh, good. Whew.
Okay.
But just if there's anything else that even could be consuming power, it's hard because Roll20 and Zoom are
Yeah, I
especially
mean,
Zoom can pull a lot.
if the power cord works, it'll be fine. If it doesn't work, no amount of other things open will save 8%. So
That
let's
is
just
true.
go for it and see how it goes.
There's
Yeah,
9%.
do what you can. This is like a glass half full, glass half empty thing, but with numbers. Welcome back to Total Party Kill. It's me, Tony Sindelar, a dungeon master, he, him. Today, we are continuing one of our Candlekeep adventures. That's right. It's Book of the Raven, a book that doesn't really have a title so much as identified as Book of the Raven because it was given to you by a raven. Our adventurers have gone on a bit of a wild goose raven chase over across the countryside looking for the site of alleged treasure. Did they find alleged treasure? Not yet. They found a dilapidated house full of were-ravens and a weird, spooky graveyard next to it. Allow me to introduce our players. They'll introduce their characters, and then maybe I'll say more about what's happening so far. First up is Monty Ashley.
Hi, I'm Monty Ashley. He, him. I am playing Townley Mountain Taker. Also, he, him. A warlock for the Queen of Air and Darkness.
Next up, Aline Sims.
Hello, Hello, I play Bellin Greybeard, the Mountain Dwarf fighter. Oh, pronouns are she, her for both of us.
Thank you, Aline. Also joining us, James Thompson.
I'm playing Nyasa Nightweaver, she, her, who is a high elf rogue who has definitely read Pet Cemetery at some point.
I have not. Also joining us, Annette Wierstra.
Hello, she, her, playing Kakara, who is an Aarakocra ranger.
And last but certainly not least, welcome back, Nick Scott.
All right, I am playing Neural, who is a human barbarian, and both of us are he, him.
Thank you, adventurers and players. So you currently are standing in the graveyard next to Chalet Brantifax. Considering your next moves, you have identified there are 4 graves in this sad, decrepit little graveyard. The Baron, his dog, and I believe you've identified the other 2 as the 2 daughters, though one seems to have a very memorable name. Seems like perhaps just a coincidence that the name on this last gravestone appears to be the name of the raven that gave you a book with a treasure map inside that sent you on a quest. I don't really know what's going on. I might know a little bit more than I'm letting on, but there's a lot I don't know.
They named the raven after
I don't
the
know what's
daughter.
going to happen next.
All right.
Reverend acknowledged. So, adventurers, I believe you were debating your next steps with regard to what are we going to do here. Members of the Scarlet Sashes, a group of were-ravens that seems to be keeping watch over this place, are lingering nearby because they have informed you that this graveyard is a shadow crossing that undead seem to pop out every night, and they are waiting there patiently to dispatch them when that appointed hour strikes. I don't know what else you're going to do.
I think we're going to give some berries.
Healing. Yes. So
our adventurers have recognized that some of you are hurt.
Well, one of us in particular who fell down.
One of you is hurt from getting banged around climbing down a well.
Yep. So I'm going to eat the 10 good berries.
I made them into a little mash for you so you could eat them easily.
Oh.
Crush them in my claws and I give you a mash of blueberries.
Does Neural not have teeth? Is this
Not
No.
now.
She's helping.
Oh God! Yeah, did you
That's how she likes her good berries.
Did you
Took a pretty
take
good
all of
blow
your
to the head.
that like 13 well damage in the mouth? Is that what you
He hit his head.
I mean, at
but
least,
like teeth first?
She's just not delicate. With,
at least
you know.
Kakara isn't like feeding him in bird to bird style.
Yeah, no.
If
Wow,
they set up
people.
a sort
By
of
the
a
way-
treadmill between the graves and the house, then these undead that come up every night could power it.
Sir, if you were trying to create a perpetual motion machine, I think that there's another group of were creatures that will seek you out and punish you for violating the laws of thermodynamics.
Laws of thermodynamics in D&D?
The Temple of God takes them very seriously.
Explain how a human turns into a raven and back. Where does the extra meat go?
Just like that, says the avatar of God pointing at the were-raven, like that.
Did we bury the locket, by the way?
I
Not
don't.
yet.
I
Think,
don't know. You were discussing it.
We were
Oh, okay.
thinking it might be wise to heal you before we did anything potentially
Sounds
Right.
good.
triggery.
So what do we want to do first? Dig up the dog or
Well,
bury the...
I mean, I think one of us can do dog duty, one of us on locket duty, and then we'll get out of here the second the ground starts.
I think locket duty first, then desecrate the grave.
Yeah. Okay, so Kakara, would you like to...
I'll do it. I can fly out of range quickly. So if something happens, so I kind of dig a little hole and I put the locket in and cover it up.
Okay. Let me ask a classic Dungeon Master question everybody loves to hear. Kakara, you're doing this to the Baron's grave, correct?
Yes.
Where approximately is everybody else while this happens?
I'm standing next to her, just by the grave.
Neural, you're standing right next to Kakara, right by the grave.
Is it
Townley?
is it the third grave?
It's the
It's
first
the
grave.
first one.
Oh, well, I'm unfortunately on the other side. The grave is between me and the door.
I'm standing where I have placed myself on the map.
All right,
Sort
so
of.
within the graveyard, but not immediately
Yeah.
next to a grave. All right, Nyasa.
Where,
I am standing on top of the dog grave.
Bellin?
I thought I had my token where I wanted to be, but now, well, what's my speed? I think I want to stay where I am, kind of to the, what would that be, southeast of the Baron's grave and the dog's grave.
Okay, a respectful distance back.
Yeah, like I'm still in range. If something comes up, I'm still in range of pretty much everything in the graveyard, so I can run pretty quickly. So I think I'm going to stay right where I am.
All right.
I'm pretty good at acrobatics, so I figure I'll backflip out of this grave area.
All right, so Kakara, you dig a little hole in the grave and place the locket there.
Yes, and then I cover it up.
Cover it back up. You know, you are standing in a dreary graveyard next to a dreary, dilapidated hunting lodge in the middle of nowhere at the end of a strange journey that a bird sent you on. But for a moment, you're kind of filled with like a sense of purpose and like just like a feeling of goodness, like the sense that you have done something good and important in the world. And everybody that is standing around the grave, which I'm going to count as Neural, Nyasa, and Kakara, gain the benefits of a charm of heroism for laying the Baron to rest. This is a charm from the I believe this is from the player's handbook. What's great about this charm, it says this charm allows you to give yourself the benefits of a potion of heroism as an action. And then you go and say like, okay, now I've got to look up what a potion of heroism looks like. So this is one of those great things where you look something up and it basically says, go look this thing up next. So I will do that
quest
for you.
Potion of heroism, it says here, is a potion that gives you the qualities of being a hero. So now I have to look up what a hero is.
Commonly found in charms.
Ooh,
basically. I
was just saying I found that you gain 10 temporary hit points for 1 hour.
That sounds good.
I believe you also are under the effects of the bless spell, which you can then look up. So the bless spell, whenever you make an attack or a saving throw for that hour, you can roll a d4 and add that d4 to the roll.
Nice.
So the three of you who dared to stand right over the grave have that. Keep track of that. That's basically a one-time boon that you would activate and then get for an hour. So you might, either in the midst of a battle choose to activate that, or going into a battle choose to activate it. It costs an action for you to use it, but it gives you temporary hit points, and it would buff all of your attacks for an hour. An hour is potentially more than one fight, but it's certainly an entire fight, because a fight is usually less than a minute, because each round of a fight is but 6 seconds. Okay, so you have planted the locket, and you get the sense that you probably laid the Baron's ghost to rest, and that perhaps the Baron was somehow caught between here with the Baron buried here without his locket, the locket being where he died in that well.
So all problems solved.
Anything? Are we digging up the dog now or what?
Yeah, we're going to do the dog.
Yep, we're going to do the dog.
All right.
I was going to point out, I asked that not knowing that you guys had gotten the feeling that the Baron had been laid to rest.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking like
That's true. It's like, if we
take the
feel
dog
that,
out?
do we still need to do it? Do we need to check if he's still like in the well?
That's a good idea.
No, I think that's been confirmed. Like we,
I'm going to go into the basement.
Here, let me help you. A familiar voice whispers to the five of you, "Thank you."
See, he loved the wife the most. This was the
after all.
yeah.
Maybe
We
his wife's name was Bjorn.
So I don't think we need to dig up any graves at this point.
You don't need to, but do you want to?
I look at this shovel in my hand. I guess you're
Like,
right.
when all you have is a shovel, everything looks like a grave.
So is that it? Are we done here?
I suspect. Well, I think we have to deal with the identity of our mysterious raven benefactor.
It's Haluth. He said.
Well, yeah, but
Here's the question: do we need to get the Scarlet Sash out of his house?
I mean,
Well,
I
I
don't.
mean,
I don't
or Haluth
Do
seems
we
to be a
want to
daughter,
help
just FYI.
the Scarlet Sash get rid of whatever is haunting them
I
every
think everybody
night?
really needs to sit around a table and have a discussion. This is how all best D&D adventures end.
Who's in this
It may
grave
be that-
that's marked Haluth?
It may be time for an important meeting, but it is also clearly just about midnight. The full moon illuminates the graveyard. Madrina and Vinique come kind of scurrying back into the graveyard, scoop up their shovels and swords that they had left in the corner, and wait expectantly over the grave to the south.
So good news. Remember that well we told you about? Not haunted
Yep.
anymore.
Oh, thanks.
Uh,
Probably good for property values. It's appreciated.
yeah.
And I'm sure you feel better about that too.
Yeah. I feel quite heroic.
Somewhere an owl hoots in the woods, perhaps.
Do you guys know him?
An owl that has a really great. That is offensive, but also yes, he's our neighbor. And we do know.
I mean, I'm just saying, you guys are
Yeah.
birds. He's a bird in the neighborhood.
Yeah, yeah. That owl keeps track of the time for us. So there's no church bells to strike at midnight or clock tower, but clearly it is the darkest of night, and you hear kind of a strange muffled growling noise. The earth is churning at the southernmost grave. Vinique and Madrina stand there kind of with a weary sense of familiarity on their beaky faces. Two pairs of arms and eventually gaping mouths of undead creatures kind of push through the dirt, and they kind of with tired efficiency, stab each of them in the head and then dig out the body.
Well, I guess that was a different curse then.
That was
Yeah,
from
like
the
I'm saying,
southern
I don't
grave.
think. Yep.
Who's buried in the southern grave?
The southern gravestone is marked Sylphine.
Okay.
Do we want to have a little... I mean, we seem completely unfazed by this whole undead slaughter.
Apparently,
We're just
it's gonna
standing
take them
around.
a little bit of time. It seems like they basically don't leave the undead there kind of half buried. So obviously they took advantage of the fact that the undead were literally having to kind of climb out of a grave to easily dispatch them, but are now taking the time to kind of disinter them. And I don't know, whatever you do with an undead body, but they don't like leaving it there. So they're just hanging out there with their shovels. Feel free to chat with them.
Like we're just leaning against a fence, kind of watching this.
Yeah.
Are there any identifying things on the undead bodies? Like, is there old armor or something?
One of them does seem to have some kind of it's ancient. It looks like it was probably leather that is kind of completely rotting away, but it seems like it is some kind of military style logo on it or a crest, and you can kind of make out it looks like kind of like a griffin or some kind of thing in flight, and behind it a stylized castle with two big towers.
Castle Griffin, I know it well.
Oh, well, do we want to tell them to pick up their boys?
I mean, I think there's probably... We should figure out why this is happening in this particular location. You know, it's not to do...
I agree. I'm curious about this, and I feel some affinity for these birds. I would like to help them solve this problem because it seems
pretty tedious if you have to do this every night.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like a huge deal. It's like watering the plants or
Yeah, but
walking
you
the dog.
you can't
or
go on
something.
holiday or anything. You know, you're gonna have to have
hate
a
that.
grave sitter come round.
Yeah, and what are the going rates for that? How do you pay?
Yeah, I mean, or you come back like 2 weeks later and the little pen is just full of them.
Hey guys, if you don't kill them, what do they specifically do? Do they just shamble around looking for flesh of the living to eat, or
That's mainly what they do.
they're not on a quest or anything?
Can they
No,
get
they-
out of the fence, or are they kind of confined in the fence?
Well, we've kind of patched up the fence a little bit and made it so you can lock the gate. It wasn't like that when we first got here. So yeah, they used to kind of wander around and people would deal with them in the countryside. But we don't want to have to deal with, it seems safest to deal with them
Yeah.
two at a time.
Yeah, it's a pest problem, but
So if you leave them, then 2 more come, and then there's 4, and just so on.
Exactly.
Wow.
you could do something with that infinite resource of mass.
What
Is
I'm
this
saying,
something
right?
we would have ever heard of this before?
Like you
No,
could
this is pretty strange. I don't think any of you have heard of the idea of a shadow crossing. I mean, some of you may be familiar with the idea that there are kind of like different realms or different lands that one could go to and various magical ways that one could do it. It seems unusual that there would just be a grave that spits out two zombies a day.
I mean, this could be a bad idea, but what if we
I
went
believe I've
through
shared
it?
the crest with
Yes.
you if that's helpful.
Yes, you have.
We could see what was on the other side.
So you're saying now you want to climb into the
Of
graves?
death?
Well, I mean, I'm curious.
I mean, I'm game to watch you do this.
Well, I was thinking Neural might like to do.
I don't like going in the earth. That is not my thing.
Tony, I have a question.
Yeah.
The book that the map was drawn in was the first-hand account written in common of an anonymous author.
Mhm.
It ends with a description of the castle's dreadful countenance.
Mhm.
Does that description match at all the castle in this logo?
Oh yeah, there's specifically 2 huge spires, one with kind of a flat top and one with a pointy roof.
That's interesting because that's the only thing that this book, aside from the map, has to do with anything that's happened to us. Just to recap, this woman fell off her horse and broke her leg and was befriended by Vistani travelers. And then goes into the Vistani way of life. Crackling fires on cold nights, wolves howling in the dead of night, ravens pecking at the roof of the wagon in the wee hours of the morning. That might be relevant. Late in the book, the author wrote of being able to hobble around on crutches. The caravan traveled a winding mountain road to the gates of a tall, dark castle. And then suddenly it ends. Like the book was snatched from her while she was in the middle of a sentence.
So do we need to go to the tall dark castle?
I would rather go to a tall, dark castle than, no offense, guys, just a rundown, mildly haunted house.
Formerly haunted.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point it's not even haunted.
Well, I mean, it
Ex-haunted.
does
It
have a
might
sort of
be.
undead problem.
This is haunted. The grounds are haunted. It's fine.
Yeah.
You're still on the map.
We're still accredited. Yeah.
I mean, I think there's a technical difference between haunting and necromancy, but
So do you guys know where this castle is?
you're asking the were ravens?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Reddick did find a letter on one of the ghouls a couple of weeks back. Not somewhere I've ever heard of. You ever heard of a place called Barovia?
Oh, I was
Not
wondering.
Barovia.
I don't think any of you have ever heard of Barovia.
I have been wondering when I heard about the Vistani. Bellin, blissfully ignorant. Aline, very aware of Barovia.
Aline has seen some things, but
Aline
Bellin,
has seen some
fresh-
things.
fresh-eyed, full of hope. Yeah.
sounds very far away.
So, I mean,
There was a
You're
letter
interested.
on one guy. That's interesting.
Somebody sending messages? Like, is this
Well,
a postal
I assume
system?
before
So people are dying somewhere else and coming out here.
something like
That's
that.
neat.
So we
I
could
mean-
use this to create like some kind of telegraph system.
Yes.
I like this.
I suppose.
Is it
Our
possible
best
to
guess
just-
is that there's probably some kind of graveyard on the other side of the Shadow Crossing.
Yeah, like, is it possible to cross the Shadow Crossing in the other direction?
That's what I was
Yeah,
saying. But nobody
we tried
wanted
that
to...
once. The guy we sent over didn't come back.
Maybe it
Maybe
was nicer
Barovia is
there.
nice.
I don't think so, because it seems to have a lot of undead in it.
Did he come back with a letter?
It doesn't. The undead come here, obviously.
I guess. I think you may have a different understanding of what's at work here than I do.
As I said, we're very experienced in these matters. Nyasa bluffs.
And you have dug up these graves to see what's inside them. Like, you haven't seen.
Oh yeah, this grave is empty.
Sylphine's grave is empty.
Correct.
So we just have to find Sylphine and put her in the grave.
Yes,
It's possible.
that makes sense.
Did we?
I mean, she
pick
may
up-
be on the other side of the crossing.
Or maybe she's another were-raven.
Mm,
Hmm.
I don't know a Sylphine.
Did you dig up all the graves? Was there a body in this one? And I point to Haluth's tombstone.
We checked them. It's yes. There was a body in each of the other ones.
Because
There's
I'll
a
tell
dog-
you,
Dog body in that second one over there.
the raven that said that there were squatters in his house, which I guess is you guys. He said his name was Haluth.
Talon, you seem like a nice guy, but just checking. Has any of your friends seen this raven you keep talking about?
Yeah.
Yes.
I
we
have.
seen the raven.
I can vouch for him.
We
We
did.
saw
Oh,
a raven,
Okay.
but it looked like a regular raven, not in
I mean-
any of your other forms.
But,
Maybe he
Doesn't
was just
put-
reincarnated as a raven.
Maybe. I mean, I've seen weirder things in my time with the Scarlet Sashes.
Have you guys noticed a regular non-wear raven around, like giving you the side eye?
I have not, and we know
All
all the ravens around here.
the owl tells them if anyone's sniffing around. That owl is a real busybody.
A raven flaps across the moonlit night sky, and Madrina says, "That's Greg."
Maybe Greg
I
knows.
say, "Hey, Craig," in Raven. Caw-caw, caw-caw, caw-caw.
Greg calls back. Caw, 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 caw. Sup?
I think you should
Go
leave
on,
the
tell him sup.
interrogation.
So I was like,
He kind of did it in that thing where he's saying sup, but he didn't slow down. He just kept going. So that's it's like, he's not actually
like,
asking
driving
sup.
by.
Yeah.
I'm just
Vin-
curious.
Vin-
Does any do we
Vinique
know?
and Madrina have almost finished. They've got the two undead bodies out there, and they're kind of stripping them for any items of interest. It doesn't seem like they've got much on them. It looks like they're ready to drag them out of the graveyard. And you notice that there's a pile of lumber nearby. It looks like they're probably going to burn the bodies.
Do you think maybe that statue might help us cross the Shadow Crossing, the one they didn't want us to keep?
I
I
don't-
asked them this. Yes.
I mean, if you think it'll help, I'd be happy to lend it to you for a bit.
like, why do you say it's bad news?
Well, Orcus is the demon prince of undeath.
Maybe if we give him the statue back, he'll be happy.
I don't think you want to meet Orcus.
I mean, you could mail it to him.
I mean,
Post office go there.
I don't think you really want him aware of your comings and goings.
we could bury that in the grave. Maybe that would put a stop to
All
it.
problems can be solved. Maybe if we bury the pewter spork in one of them, it'll do something.
Exactly.
We can
Let's
we
just
can
bury all this
either
stuff.
Use pewter
Arm them
spork
with
on grave.
sporks,
It's not a Lucas
or
Artifact.
turn them
Everybody.
into demon gowls, which somehow is worse than regular gowls. Like their eyes glow, maybe lasers or something.
Mm.
Yeah.
Maybe we could all just become were-ravens. And...
I
It's true,
really
we
want to
could.
see Kakara be a were-raven.
Mm.
I think that
I
would look
don't- I am-
amazing.
I have questions
She
about
sort
that.
of agrees and has been
Well,
contemplating it.
but it's gonna be because a were-raven is a human who's been given.
That is racist.
Well,
So you're
I mean-
saying it is impossible for me to become a raven, like
Wait.
a Arakork or a were raven?
I think you
Humans
could be
are
an
the
Eric-
only creatures that can become lycanthropes? That's
No.
weird.
but it seems like I mean, I think obviously Kakar could become a were-raven, but I think your forms would really just be your form that you have now, or a full raven form, right?
Or
I don't
maybe
think
a
you
full
have-
Would be sort of
human
cool
form.
though.
Maybe
But
you
I
could-
don't-
No, it wouldn't be human. It would
you
be like
need
a
to
raven
given- yeah.
or an
Yeah.
Aarakocra.
Well,
Yeah.
what happens if a raven becomes a were-raven?
I don't think a raven could become a were-raven. This is that whole jackal-were scenario again, where somebody wrote in to let us know that the reasons that jackal-wares are jackal-wares and not were-jackals is they start lives as jackals versus starting life as a humanoid that gets infected with jackal, whatever the jackal equivalent of lycanthropy is. We're covering important ground here.
Yeah.
They're just
Just
standing around
processing
it,
all of this.
Yeah.
I'm like
standing in a graveyard at midnight, preparing to
Yeah.
burn some bodies,
discussing
having
whether
a,
or not
a
I can
chat.
be.
Yeah. Smoking some closed cigarettes and listening to some bad techno. I've been there.
Oh yeah.
So 19 all over again. So what do you want to do next, adventurers? Where does your thirst for adventure take you?
I think go through the shadow crossing, go to the other
Yeah.
side, see what's over there.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the worst that could happen to whoever goes first?
I'll do it.
Maybe
The,
I
the
can
Queen
be a
of Air and
were-raven.
Darkness will protect me.
So Madrina and Vanique head back. The two undead bodies are smoldering over on the other side of the yard, and they kind of dust off their feathery hands. So, what are you thinking? Because we're gonna head in for the night soon. If you know, unless there's something else to be done here.
Tell us about the Scarlet Sash.
Well, it's an organization of were-ravens that goes back many years. We protect the world from sources of darkness, mainly in the form of artifacts and other objects that we choose to keep hidden away so that bad interlopers don't have them and use them for bad things.
Oh, well, thank you.
Also, we protect places like this Shadow Crossing, and well, this was kind of a big deal when we found this. Not gonna lie.
Do you know how to cross a shadow crossing?
Yeah, as we said, one guy tried it once, and that was kind of a failed experiment, and that we never saw him again. But we could dig up this grave, and you lie down in it, and
What if we tied a
we
rope?
think you probably wake up in another grave wherever this connects to.
That
There's
sounds
probably-
amazing. Let's do it.
All right, friend. Madrina and Vanique start shoveling in the grave out with the kind of energy you expect from somebody who wants to get this done before Townley changes his mind.
Should we tie a rope to Townley?
It is the sky is starting to get kind of overcast. The full moon is behind the clouds, and there's kind of a fog seeping in that kind of seems to roll into the open grave. After it's probably takes them a good half hour to dig out this grave. It helps that the earth is loose from continual undead rising up from it, and perhaps they've dug it out before. But
That's good for the soil.
Yeah, stand there looking with their shovels up on their shoulders, kind of looking at you expectantly and say, so, the way it works, you lie down in there, you'll wake up somewhere else. There's probably, we figure these undead are coming from somewhere. Something's stirring them up. I suppose if you were able to deal with that, it would probably be good.
Great. When I come back, because I will definitely succeed and come back, don't kill me as soon as I crawl my way out. Make sure I'm undead first.
You got it. Vanique kind of salutes with one feathery arm.
Do
and
we want to
but-
send Townley all by himself to do
No,
this?
I think Nasa's going to jump into this grave as well
Mhm.
because I don't know what the max.
Hello.
It's like we all just want to pile in,
It's a grave
go
for
together.
two.
A pile of bodies.
Madrina says, look, I'm not going to pretend I totally understand how this thing works, but my guess is you want to be back before sunrise.
Oh,
Good tip.
Okay,
All right.
so
Somebody set up their watch to.
All right. So Townley, you are first. You lie down in the grave, and the it's
Nyasa on
cold. No, I think it's a one at a time situation, people.
Well, I mean,
okay, fine.
You
that
lie
crossing
down in the
can be
grave.
cold.
The cold fog kind of rolls in around you, and it kind of fogs your vision as it does because it's fog. And as you kind of blink, and when your eyes clear, you are looking up at a night sky that is different from the one that you were seeing but moments ago. The sound of the space is different, and as you kind of clamber to your feet, you realize that you are standing in an open grave in a different graveyard from the one you were in but moments ago. Nyasa, I assume you're next.
Yeah, she's me next, pushing the others out the way to get into a grave.
Mm-hmm. And am I to assume that each of you will then do this one by one?
yeah.
Yes.
All
We
right.
can't split the party.
Each of you
Again.
finds yourself in a different grave. It seems to be conveniently 5 open graves in a strange small graveyard. It is night wherever you are, but it smells and sounds a little bit differently. The air is very cold here. The moon still full. A howl of darkness, a howl of a wolf somewhere in the darkness in the distance, and indeed up on a cliffside, far, far in the distance, is a rather impressive, dreadful-looking tower, dreadful-looking castle with 2 towers. A castle you could think of as some kind of loft for some kind of bird, but we won't get into that today. So assuming I've done it correctly, you're all looking at a map of a graveyard. This graveyard in this kind of significantly more involved than the graveyard you started in. Lots of graves here. It seems to be rather desolate and abandoned. There is a mausoleum a ways away. Lots of kind of statuary type things. Multiple kind of tiers to the graveyard with steps leading up and down from them. Yes, that's the graveyard.
Cool.
So we brought that little statue, didn't we?
Sure.
Well, I'm gonna check out this. See what.
Yeah.
What is
All
this
right.
little thing that I'm looking at to my left?
Nyasa climbs out of the grave and starts wandering around the graveyard. You arrive. There's a seems like a kind of more prominent grave than others. And it's got kind of a statue of a hooded figure standing over the memorial to the person.
Oh, nothing creepy about statues.
I want to.
Hikara, you're climbing around, looking around.
I
too.
want to go over to look at like this building that is
All right, there's a
probably
mausoleum.
mausoleum.
Yeah, give me a quick perception check.
I rolled. Sorry, too many windows open.
It's okay.
A 21.
Oh, wow. You're studying it. So it's a big or it's a substantial sized mausoleum. Looks like it's probably like 30 by 30 feet. It's got kind of I keep wanting to use words that wouldn't make any sense in D&D world. It's like, it's bigger than a garage. It has Romanesque architecture. Like those words don't work. It has a triangular kind of shaped front thing over the entryway. There are 2 rather ornate gargoyles perched on each corner. There's an old rusted gate blocking your entrance. Inside, you can see that there's kind of a one central room, and it looks like there are passageways off of that to other rooms of the mausoleum. Carved in fancy lettering above the gate, roughly where you're standing, is the name Harn, Harrn.
Always an extra R in these guys.
Well, Dungeons and Dragons. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I'm just going to look around these gravestones here. Are there any look at for names or anything I can
Sure.
recognize?
Give me a quick perception check.
All right. And 12.
You're poking at some of the graves that you popped out of. In fact, don't even have names set in them yet, as if they were there waiting in preparation for something. It is strange that there do seem to be this set of open graves you all appeared in. All the graves, other graves in your vicinity, seem to be occupied.
Well,
And I'm also going to go have a look up at this
Mhm.
casket up here.
Yep. There's a big kind of stone platform ceiling in, perhaps some kind of resting place for multiple, where multiple people might be laid to rest. It looks like there's some kind of family name that was etched into it at some point, but weather has kind of worn it away. A lot of the graves around here are kind of overgrown, and weeds and scraggly trees kind of interrupting everything. Bellin, did you want to do something?
I think I'm just gonna kind of go toward what I think is the graveyard main entrance.
Okay. You head up a kind of over there. It does look like there is kind of a stone low wall that encompasses this area. It actually looks like you're just in like kind of like maybe the intersection of the graveyard, as you can see kind of more rows of graves beyond that. So this is a rather impressive graveyard situation here with sections and areas of graves. There's some wrought iron fences that have long since fallen off their hinges and are just kind of lying in the dirt by the path here heading to the east.
Well, everybody remember where we parked.
Yeah, I was going to say, I want to look at the graves we came out of. See if they have any interesting names or anything.
We should make sure
Okay.
that we go back in the same graves we came out of. Otherwise, there could be
All right.
a body swap situation. Or
Yeah, you don't want that. Freaky Friday. Got it. You keep track of which graves you came out of.
Okay.
little post-it note.
Kara
on each.
forgot already.
Well, we all
Townley-
left. We all left from one grave, so I'm really interested in what's going to happen when we go back.
Townley,
Transporter.
you're looking around
accident.
at four of the graves have empty blank headstones, but indeed the one that you came out of does seem to have a name. It's very faded, but as you kind of brush away the dust and grime over it, I don't know what you feel, but you see the name Sylphine, beloved daughter. May she find peace at last.
She's not found much peace.
All right.
Anyone else
Well,
want to do anything exciting while they're here?
Kakar's going to try and open that gate on the mausoleum.
The gate is incredible. It's unlocked, but it's incredibly rusty, and there is a horrible creak. All of you hear it throughout the graveyard as the gate swings open, and you look into the mausoleum. Kakar, give me a quick perception check.
8.
You notice nothing. Bellin, I noticed that you are kind of backing Kakara up there. Do you
Yeah, I
want to give me
heard
a
the
quick
gate.
perception check?
my +0 modifier to perception. 14.
You notice one of the gargoyles standing atop the mausoleum kind of shift to look down at Kakara.
I'm just gonna say, hey, one of these statues moved.
Nah, that's
Probably
a
not a
wave.
statue.
That's a
Hey,
wave, so the
gargoyle.
Never a statue.
Yep.
We're just going to assume the best of everyone that we meet.
Yeah.
I'm going to add you to an initiative order, no reason.
And our assumption
Okay.
was wrong.
Well, what do we say about assumptions? Why don't all of you just roll some initiative just for funsies?
Just for funsies, I got a 20.
I got a 17.
I got a number 16.
I got a 23.
All right. So the gargoyle, and indeed it looks like both gargoyles atop the mausoleum are indeed animated, and but you notice one of them they both flap into the air and make aggressive advances on you as if they are about to swoop down and attack. Let's say presumably Kakara, but you get a chance to react before this happens because they do it very slowly and very telegraphy in that they rolled a low initiative that all of you get to go before them. So order of combat here is going to be Kakara, Nyasa, Neural. Excuse me. Order of combat here will be Kakara, Nyasa, Neural, Townley, Bellin, and my pair of gargoyles. Any questions?
Nope.
All right. Kakara, you are first.
I, of course, fly up into the air to meet the one that sort of was just above me.
Mm-hmm.
And I can take 2 swipes at this gargoyle with my talons. First one being 7.
A 7 will not do damage to a stony gargoyle.
And the second is a 13.
A 13 is also not enough to scratch.
So I go up there and
I
I flail uselessly in the air, but I am in the air.
All right.
It's not useless because you're standing next to the gargoyle, which I think means I get a sneak attack.
All right, Kakara, Nyasa, you are next.
Okay, well, it will surprise no one to learn that I am going to see if psychic blades will hit a stone gargoyle.
Mm-hmm.
So, let me try that. Psychic blades. I rolled an 18.
18 definitely hits. And you're attacking the gargoyle that Kakara is fighting?
Yes, because that should get me bonus sneak attack damage.
Excellent. So your psychic blades hurl through the air and catch the gargoyle in the side.
Yep, and that is going to be, well, not very good. A 1 plus a 3, 4, but then 2 more d6. 6, 10, and another 6, 16.
Now let me ask you an important question.
Yes.
Is this weapon from a magical weapon or a non-magical weapon?
I believe it to be magical.
It's a brain knife.
It's psychic damage.
Oh, it's psychic damage. That's
good?
all you need. Is the sneak attack damage also psychic damage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's psychic damage. That ends my line of questioning. What was the final number you said? 16?
16.
All right. I asked because gargoyles resist bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical weapons, which I believe will apply to some of you.
This is why I brought brain knives.
Brain knives. Neural, you're next. So there is one guard. Oh, no, Nyasa's not done. Nyasa, you're continuing.
I think I get to do a second attack.
Why?
I get a bonus attack. The special action was the sneak attack, but I believe I get a bonus attack, which is just 1d4. But
why do you get a bonus attack? What's it?
I think it's 2-weapon fighting.
I specifically have a psychic blades bonus attack.
Oh, psychic blades bonus attack.
Yeah, see,
that's one. A little explanation, flavor here.
I'm the word blades implies more than one blade.
Oh, that's true. It's not psychic blade.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
It's brain knives, not brain knife. Well, let's see if it works anyway. No, it doesn't. I rolled a 9.
Okay.
Well, 9 plus 9 plus 5. Would that do anything? 14?
That will not hit. That is a 14. Not enough to hit a gargoyle.
Well, good to know.
All right. Neural, you are next. There are 2 gargoyles. Now, these gargoyles, they were perched atop the mausoleum and then kind of were a little bit, I think they just kind of launched themselves into flight. So they're kind of hovering just above it. So it is tricky in that they are, I don't know, they're probably a good 10 feet off the ground.
Okay. I'm going to hurl one of my javelins.
All
it
right.
a magical javelin?
Sadly, it is not a magical javelin. And I roll 20.
Which gargoyle are you targeting?
The one furthest north.
North gargoyle. Okay. What'd you roll?
20.
20 hits. Gargoyle, you get it like right in the wing. It tears like a big hole in its stone wing.
Oh, sorry, that wasn't the damage. That was the hit.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the hit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. Damage is 9.
Okay. It will only be 4 because of the gargoyle's stony nature for this half of it. But the gargoyle looks annoyed at you. Anything else, Neural?
Nope, that's it for me.
All right, Townley. I think you are standing over by the grave, so you're a little ways away. Don't use this map. Don't worry about the map exactly. This is a kind of theater of the mind map, so feel free to adjust where your token is.
Eldritch Blast has a range of 120 feet, so I'm fine.
Yeah, my graveyard is not 120 feet big.
I'm going to blast left gargoyle, which in this case is the one at the north that Kakara is talking to. 11.
11 doesn't hit. It smacks into the broadside of the mausoleum.
Oh, sorry, mausoleum. I'm going to move over here behind a tree.
Okay. You take cover behind a tree.
That's all.
Bellin, you are standing next to Kakara when she launched herself in the air to fight these gargoyle menaces that you noticed.
Yeah. Do I notice anything I can climb up on?
You could climb the mausoleum itself.
Okay. I'm going to climb the mausoleum.
All right. Give me a quick athletics check to clamber up the mausoleum. Shouldn't be hard.
Quick athletics. 15?
All right. You are up on the mausoleum. The gargoyles are flapping a little bit above it, but within, axe or mace or whatever type of weapon range you want to hit at melee.
I want to jump on it and try to bring it to the ground.
Okay.
What would that be, like an opposed strength check or something?
Yeah.
Okay. My strength is pretty good, but I'm sure. 20.
All right, Bellin, you scamper up the mausoleum, get to the kind of pinnacle of the crenellations there. That's a mausoleum word. And just kind of launch yourself like a cannonball at the gargoyle, who I think probably hitting him right in the back as he's distracted by Kakara, and cling to him with all your dwarfy mightness. And your plan is and I imagine kind of as a follow through, you and the gargoyle tumble to the ground with you landing on top of the gargoyle.
Yeah, I want to bring it to the ground so that Neural can hit it.
All right.
Oh, I like this plan.
Yeah.
The gargoyle is going to count as grappled by you. I think for hitting the ground, I am going to say that I think a gargoyle for hitting the ground and then being hit by a dwarf, I'm thinking that's like 2d8 damage. That's what I'm thinking.
Great.
Is the ground magical?
No, it's not magical. But yeah, so the gargoyle is going to take 5 damage. And is pinned under you, such that if anyone who is attacking the gargoyle, you'd have advantage until the gargoyle gets you off. So, Bellin, that was your turn, right?
Yep.
All right.
I'm happy with that.
Well, I was like,
That's
what
awesome.
will the gargoyles do? So this first gargoyle really, really wants to get out from under you, Bellin. So he's going to do an opposed strength check with you to try and get out. So roll your strength. I'm rolling gargoyle strength. Oh no, I have rolled a 6.
I have a 23.
All right, the gargoyle is pathetically trying to get out. He's not getting anywhere. Given that, he is then going to try and bite you.
Okay.
I have rolled an 8 to bite you.
Yeah, no.
All right, this gargoyle is suddenly felt like it was a fearsome foe, is under a dwarf, and cannot bite you at all.
This spooky land is full of chumps.
Yeah. Well, this other gargoyle is going to swoop down and basically kind of dive bomb you, Bellin, trying to rescue his friend. It's going to do a flyby attack and do a bite and a claw on you. Well, I'm feeling much better about these. I've rolled a 22 for the bite attack and a 17 for the claw attack.
Yeah, they both hit.
All right, they take 2 good-sized chunks out of you, 5 damage each, 5 piercing, 5 slashing, 10 damage total, and then that gargoyle like kind of launches itself back up in the air and is trying to hover out of reach of all of you surface-dwelling creatures. Let's see. Let's do one more round, and then we'll look for an episode break, maybe?
Okay.
All right. Kara, you are still flapping in the air. The gargoyle you were fighting is underneath a dwarf. There's another fresh gargoyle nearby.
I feel like they've got that gargoyle going. So I'm going to go after this one. But this time I'm like bringing out my daggers in my talons, which make them a little bit tougher. And I have 2 daggers and 2 claws. And, well, we've got a 9 for one and a 13 for another.
You're chipping away at it, but you just can't get in the gargoyle is flapping around. It's using its wings to block and kind of darting left and right. And you are not able to get a piece of that gargoyle.
But I look cool in there.
Yep. Nyasa Nightweaver, you're kind of standing in the middle of the graveyard. There's a gargoyle in flight nearby you and a gargoyle on the ground beneath your dwarven friend.
I think we're going to try and take out the hopefully somewhat damaged gargoyle that is pinned.
I would go, since you have an attack that works
True.
well for something in flight, I would go for that because I don't think Neural really does either.
Yeah,
No,
okay.
my best is the javelin.
Yep.
Well, Kakara is helpfully next to the gargoyle, so I think I get my sneak attack again if I manage to hit. So psychic blades seem like a good strategy here. I have rolled a 17.
17 will hit a gargoyle.
Okay, so
As the saying goes.
Classic old-timey, that old chestnut.
I've rolled a 6, a 2, and a 2 plus 3, 13 damage.
13 damage. And it is psychic damage, which the gargoyle can't do anything about.
And then the bonus knife number 2. I have rolled 11 plus 5, 16.
16 will hit. You may be converging on what the armor class of a gargoyle is.
I'm getting there. And that I think was
It's like only a d4 plus something.
I think it's literally just a d4. Okay, but it's a d4. And it's a 3.
Okay. All set, Nyasa?
Yeah. I don't think
All
I
right.
can do anything else. I don't think I can. Can't hide.
Neural, you are next. Bellin has a gargoyle pinned to the ground right next to you. I would say you have advantage on any attacks to this gargoyle.
All right, well, we're going to use the great axe.
It's okay.
It's great. 21.
That definitely hits. You take a chunk out of the gargoyle.
All right, and 4 points of damage.
Which unfortunately becomes 2 points of damage. Because I assume your great axe is not magical.
No.
It's just great.
All right. Townley, you're still up over by Sylphian's grave, but your Eldritch Blast can go anywhere.
I'm going to shoot the flying one.
Yep.
I'm not going to shoot the flying one.
You shoot near the flying one. Yep.
I rolled a 1. I shoot nowhere near the flying one.
Okay.
Just don't hit me.
I don't know if
Bellin.
do we want to blow our charm of heroism thing on these guys?
No.
I felt like no.
Yeah. I think these are just the
They
guards.
can't be the big bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bellin, you have a gargoyle beneath you. I think you can attack it.
Okay.
Right?
Yep. Do I get advantage?
I'm gonna say no because
No, because I'm grappling.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
other people do.
Okay.
Somebody's gonna tell me I'm interpreting the rules incorrectly, but that seems like my improvisation is that you're kind of busy, like you've got your like left hand is holding it in place and you can smack it with your right hand or vice versa. So
That seems reasonable to me.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's a 16.
all right,
With my
that hits.
Warhammer. Alrighty, so that's 11 points of non-magical damage.
Non-magical damage. I'm going to turn that into 5 points of damage.
Okay,
but
but
the good news is this gargoyle is, I mean, it doesn't have blood, but it's it's chipped.
chippied.
Yeah.
And I, as a fighter, have 2-weapon fighting, so I'm also going to hit it with my Morning Star.
Mm-hmm.
I got a 22 to hit, so I feel like I did pretty well.
Smash,
with that.
smash.
And I rolled a 4. He's wiggly. It's a little hard to get a really good.
Yeah,
hit,
it's hard to get a good hit on a gargoyle when you're the one pinning it to the ground.
Yeah.
But so you've done some damage to it.
Doing okay, and yeah, I want to just keep holding it down if I can.
All right. The gargoyles are next. The first, we'll go with the gargoyle who's in flight. It's up there with Kakara. It tilts its head back and lets loose an unearthly scream. And then it tries to bite and claw you, Kakara. Bite attack is a 19. I feel good about that. Claw attack is a 9.
So the
bite,
first hits.
Mm-hmm. So the gargoyle just tears a chunk out of you. 5 piercing damage.
Kakara lets out a screech herself when it gets bit.
All right. The other one is still underneath Bellin. It's going to try pathetically to try and get out. I think Bellin is going to be able to hold it in place unless it gets really lucky. Bellin, quick strength check.
21.
Gargoyle has rolled 16. I was feeling good about 16, but it is not as good as 21. So that said, it's going to try and scratch you and bite you. Critical fail and a 7 is not going to do anything to Bellin.
No,
you are
I'm
just
good.
holding it in place. So the gargoyle is not a very effective turret. However, that gargoyle let out that horrible scream, and you hear other weird noises coming from other corners of the graveyard, and the sound of creatures approaching, scratching and climbing across the gravestones, coming over the fences and joining the fray. There are ghouls headed at you from almost every direction. Will these ghouls be fodder that you quickly carry your way through, or will this be a signal that perhaps you shouldn't just lay down in the first grave that you find? For answers to questions such as these, tune in next time to Total Party Kill. Great ghouls.
Hey, no fair. They're coming over on my side of the graveyard.
Yeah. Is that not fair? I said they were coming from every direction. You're in a direction, Monty.
Yes.
Now do we get to use that charm of heroism?
You can use it whenever you want.
Or do we hide in the mausoleum?
Or do we
I'm the
just
closest thing to 6 ghouls.
I believe I've deployed 12 ghouls.
There are 12.
I mean, we could just go
4
back
packs
to
of
the
3.
graves and jump in them and see if that works.
Yep. Adventurers, let me check. We played roughly 2 hours of Dungeons & Dragons. Do you want to play a third, or are we going to schedule that for another time?
Do you think we will finish?
Yeah, that's my question.
You're pretty close to the end. This is kind of one big multi-stage battle.
Close to the end or our end.
Well, either way.
Could happen.
6 and 1.
Let's go for it.
Yeah. Well, do we have consensus on that? Aline, how are you feeling?
I can do one more. Yeah.
Okay. Let us take a quick break, and then we will be back.
We're back, and my battery status is 59%. So
Oh,
it's
good.
working.
Yay.
It's good. I wonder what was up before. I'm sorry.
Um,
I hate computers.
I think that this particular Dell laptop has a slightly iffy power charging port.
Are we live, James?
We are live on the YouTubes and
Hi,
have been
YouTube.
live
Hi, Bootleg.
on the bootleg anyway.
So I will just tell the YouTube / bootleg / you all are here. This adventure is a very weird adventure in the book as written. I made a couple changes to it. I would say that the biggest change that I decided to make
Double the ghouls.
don't know. In the adventure as written, the Shadow Crossing takes you to the Shadowfell, which is a realm, a kind of a spooky nether realm. I decided that because the book at the beginning, which feels very tacked on in a weird way, clearly alludes to Barovia and the Ravenloft Castle, where Stradvan Zarovich lives, that the Shadow Crossing would instead take you to Barovia. I think for most people that wouldn't matter that much, but mainly I figured it would instill fear in Aline's heart. So, hi, Aline.
It worked.
Yeah.
So if we don't leave
So-
by sundown, are we just stuck in another adventure?
You don't. I mean, I'm already running one adventure in Barovia, so I'm heavily motivated to not let that happen.
Well, maybe
Join
get-
us on Tuesday nights, James.
Yeah. Barovia is not a good place. It is the most depressing realm ever because it's not very big, and it's all ruled by one vampire who's evil and has murdered hundreds of adventurers.
I haven't
So-
seen much of Barovia, but from what I've seen, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, this is. I mean, imagine this, but a town. You got the sense of it. So.
I am currently running it with my nephew
Oh,
and
yeah.
his girlfriend and their friend and Nick. So we are currently in Barovia.
Little Barovia.
Mhm. They wanted vampires. So I was like,
Yeah.
I can give you
This is-
vampires.
This is the vampire adventure. So.
Mhm.
All right, let us play one adventure. Or one more session. This session may be
Our last.
much of it may be this combat, or maybe it'll be real fast, depending on how we'll do it. Erica will have to tack this on at the end of the other one if you all die in the next 8 minutes. But we're going to do the thing. Welcome back to Total Party Kill. It's me, Tony Sindelar, a Dungeon Master, your Dungeon Master, the Dungeon Master of the hour. Today, we are continuing Candlekeep Adventures, the Book of the Raven. But let me introduce our players, and then I'll remind you and them of what is happening. First up, it's Aline Sims. Hi, Aline. How are you? How you doing?
Barovia.
It's true.
I play Bellin Greybeard, so that's good. Mountain Dwarf fighter, and our pronouns are she, her.
Yep. Also joining us, James Thompson.
I'm playing Nyasa Nightweaver, she, her, and it's always interesting to visit new places.
Yeah, they're full of undead that want to kill you. Also here, Nick Scott. Welcome back, Nick.
Thank you. I play Neural, a human barbarian, and our pronouns are he, him.
Also, it's Monty Ashley.
Hello, I play Townley Mountain Taker, he, him, a human warlock.
And last, but certainly not least, Annette Wierstra.
Hello, I play Kakara, who is an Aarakocra ranger, and both she and I are filled with foreboding right now.
Mm-hmm. So where are our adventurers? Our adventurers are in a graveyard. They are fighting some gargoyles. Several, I was going to call them an army, but that might be overly pessimistic. A squadron, a group, a platoon, a bunch of ghouls have decided to join the fray and are scampering toward them across this graveyard. But this is not just any grave. Adventurers passed over from a shadow crossing. They basically laid down in one grave and woke up in another, in an altogether different realm of the world. Whether they are totally aware of it or not, our adventurers are in the spooky, horrid land of Barovia, the kingdom of one Stradvan Zarovich, a name that they've not yet heard and probably will not strike any fear in them because they've never heard of it before. But they are here. They are seeking to close the shadow crossing so that undead will cease pouring forth into the yard of a weird abandoned house they found as directed by bird or ghost bird. Something sent them on this quest. That's what we're doing here. This is Book of the Raven. This is Candlekeep Mysteries. The mystery is, will our adventures take a quest from a bird? Answer, yes. We are in the middle of combat. Let me remind you of the order. It is going to be Kakara, followed by Nyasa, followed by Team Ghoul, 12 ghouls joining in packs of 3 from all quadrants of the graveyard. Ghouls are followed by Neural, followed by Townley, Bellin, and last, and probably not much longer for this world, my duo Gargoyles at the bottom of the order. Any questions, concerns as I crank things up, adding a dozen ghouls to the mix?
Plenty of concerns, but go ahead.
All right. Kakara, you are first. I believe you are up in the sky, flapping around, doing battle with a gargoyle.
Yes, and I am going to take a moment to dig deep into myself and activate my charm of heroism, which gets me 10 temporary hit points and a +4 on my attack and save rolls.
To be fair, a +1 D4, so you have to roll.
Plus
D4.
yes, plus D4.
Yeah. So it could be up to 4 or as low as 1.
But we're going to take it.
Earlier today or this evening, in fact, you laid a ghost to rest, and you think back to that moment, flashback to that time that we buried a locket in a grave and didn't dig up a dog that we were weirdly fixated on digging up, laying a ghost to rest. So that's your action, which is most of your turn.
Yes, and my bonus action is to still take a swipe with a dagger, and that is still only a 12 with that bonus.
All right, you slash. Oh, remember that you get to roll a d4 because you're
I
blessed.
did. That includes the d4.
Well, I'm sorry. Even with those fond memories of laying a ghost to rest, you slash the gargoyle, kind of darts, and you fail to connect with its stony, flappy extremities. Kakara, you done?
That is apparently I am highly ineffectual in battle.
Well, it's a process.
This time.
Nyasa, you are positioned kind of in the middle of the graveyard. You, I think, are aware of these packs of ghouls converging from all directions. You might think about where you're going to go on your turn here.
So I am also going to remember fondly back to the time I watched somebody bury a locket and activate my charm of heroism. And
Takes your action?
That's my action, and my bonus action is I'm going to hide behind this bush.
Health is a team resource. I assume you're using your move action to also hide behind that bush.
Yeah. So I should...
Give me a stealth check.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
I will tell you, ghouls are not the most observant.
That was a natural 20 plus 7.
Okay, you disappear into the shadows, leaving your friends to be murdered by ghouls. Speaking of ghouls,
oh boy,
it is the ghouls' turn. This is going to be a rough change of experience. So there's a pack of 3 ghouls that have kind of scrambled through the gates of the cemetery on the east side of the graveyard here. Sorry, it's a graveyard, not a cemetery. I always get those mixed up. Or is it a cemetery?
Is it connected to a building?
There's no church nearby.
Then I believe it's a cemetery.
But the graveyard counted as a graveyard because the house was nearby in the brand effect on the other side. Okay.
It was a yard.
I think I'm used to thinking of it as church adjacent, and there was no church. So yes, this is a cemetery, perhaps even a necropolis, depending on how big it is. So 3 ghouls have wandered in through the gates here. I don't know how many of you have fought ghouls before or heard tale of them while hanging out in a tavern not being murdered by ghouls. But ghouls are undead. They are known for their insatiable hunger for humanoid flesh. They are kind of a step up from zombies in that they are fast. And they have these horrid bites that they try and look at you, try and chomp on you with. Do I have a picture of a ghoul to share with you to give you the whole ghoul sense? I thought I did. Looking through stuff, trying to find ghouls.
This would be a very funny time to show us a picture of a celebrity or something.
Yeah.
That we have to edit out of the episode.
Yeah.
All right. There's a ghoul.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like to eat things. I would say they're of the fast zombie variety of undead, which is to say the ghouls who just came in through this graveyard see you, Townley, standing there and have no trouble closing the distance with you to attack you.
Oh, heck.
Yeah, sorry.
How about the ones on the south? Do they see me? Because I'm closest to them, too.
We haven't dealt with them yet. They are on, there is kind of a change in elevation here between you and them.
Okay.
So they may, the stairs are over here. So we'll see I'm not worrying about them yet. So ghouls are going to clamber over toward you. Now, ghouls have two different types of attacks they could do. They could either bite you or claw at you. I think they're going to start with the claw attack for reasons that will be apparent in a second. So I'll do these one by one because it will matter. First claw attack on Townley Mountain Taker is a critical success. Not a great way to start. Sorry, Townley. Ow! I rolled max damage on one of my rolls. 13 plus 2 is 15 slashing damage.
Okay.
One of them just slices you across the stomach. Probably there's some stuff pouring out of you. And now this is a personal question. If you are not an elf or undead, which I believe you are not an elf or an undead, you need to make a DC Constitution saving throw as the horrible
DC what?
cut to your 10. DC 10 Constitution saving throw. Because that in addition to some of your insides are sneaking out, it burns. It burns.
I rolled a 7.
You are paralyzed by the horrible whatever it is that a ghoul just did to you. So let's just look up what paralyzed means in 5e. I think the main thing it does is you can't move. You can't move or speak, and you are basically frozen in place.
All right. Probably academic, but I'll just check which of the spells I was going to use. Use a verbal component. All of them. Go ahead.
Yeah. I will tell you, I will tell you, Townley, at the end of your turn, you can repeat that saving throw. And of course, it would end as soon as.
Why don't you attack me with the other two ghouls, and it'll probably be pretty irrelevant what I was going to do on my turn.
The other two ghouls will also claw at you. I have rolled a 2 14s. Does
they both
14
hit
you?
Yes, they do.
All right, you are going to take 14 more damage total from them.
I'm out.
Critical hits. All right, Townley is down. The ghouls kind of do a gruesome victory dance.
I had a really good move I was going to make if I had survived this attack.
I'm sorry.
There was no way I was going to survive this attack.
The other ghouls, let's see here. These three ghouls come lopping across the graveyard. They do 2 move actions to close with Neural, but they are out of actions to attack. These 3 are going to run up to Bellin. Bellin, you're getting 3 ghoul attacks on you. Oh, I'm sorry. I feel like I suddenly started rolling a hot streak here. Well, actually, no, that's about even. Bellin, a 6 is going to hit you. How about a 10? No. How about a 22?
Yeah, my AC 16.
All right, 3 ghouls rush up to you. Only one of them connects. You take 7 slashing damage, but you also, unless you're an elf or an undead, need to succeed on a DC 10 Constitution saving throw.
13. I'm sorry, that was 2
All right,
points of damage.
7 points of damage.
7 points of damage.
You shake off the horrible burning in the cut one of them made to your arm.
Okay.
All right. These 3, let's see here. I guess they cut these 3 over in the southeast corner. They lope across the graveyard. They come down a set of stairs. They are looking for Nyasa, who disappeared here. They're sniffing the air, but they are not finding anything. And so they I guess they kind of waste their turn looking around for you, and then start scuttling over in the direction of Bellin. and Neural. Neural, you are up next. You have 3 ghouls that have converged on you. There is a hurt gargoyle on the ground, still positioned under Bellin. There are suddenly a lot more bad things around you than there were but 6 seconds ago.
Okay. Well, this makes me very angry. So I enter a rage. I am also going to start doing frenzied attack so I can make a melee weapon attack as a bonus action.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also going to activate my Heroism. So I believe that gives me a 10 extra hit points and D4 extra damage.
Yes. I think it's D4 to hit.
D4 to
damage,
hit.
I'm not
Okay.
sure. Yes.
Okay, so what does that all give me? I do +2 melee damage. Okay, so I'm going to attack the gargoyle.
Now, the tricky thing, if you activate the heroism, that is your action, so it would not let you. So I don't know if you want to save that for a time when you're not attacking.
Okay, well, I won't activate the heroism then.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to go after this gargoyle here. And...
Well, do you have a bonus action attack or something like that? Because you had to use your main action to activate the charm of heroism.
Oh, no. Yes, I do have a bonus action. Sorry.
Okay.
So I'll do that.
Okay.
So
you used your bonus action to enter a rage.
Oh, did I?
If you entered a rage, then yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so then
I think this turn may be for Neural Basic. You go into your little interface and flip all of your switches. Raging, reckless, heroic, power up.
Okay, so that's basically that turn.
I think so.
Okay.
All right. Townley, you are next. You are down on the ground. The ghouls are scooping bits of your inside out and feasting on them. I think you need to make a death saving throw.
I will make a death saving throw. 14. That is a success. Do I have to save against paralysis, or when I come back to
when you come back, you would not be paralyzed?
Okay, good.
Yeah, I think recovering from death has its benefits.
All right. That's it for me then. Carry on.
All right. Bellin, you are kind of surrounded by ghouls and still sitting on top of a gargoyle.
Yeah, I am. Okay. All right. There are no good options right now. Okay, so
but there are options.
There are a lot of options. They're just not good. Okay, first of all, Warhammer. Hitting this gargoyle with my Warhammer. 13.
A 13 does not hit a gargoyle. They're very tough. They're made of stone.
Okay. Morningstar. Morningstar's better. 17?
17 definitely hits a gargoyle.
Okay. A whole 6 points of damage, which I know is 3 points of damage.
Yeah.
I am also going to take this opportunity to use my action surge. No, not my action surge. I'm going to use a bonus action to take my second wind.
Okay.
To get 1d10 plus 3 hit points back, because I have a feeling I'm going to need them. And that's my turn.
Right. It is the gargoyles next, who really were supposed to be the fearsome leader of this group, but I think the ghouls end up being representing in quantity alone. So first up, I'm going to have the gargoyle that's under Bellin do another opposed strength check to try and get out.
Yeah.
I have rolled a 17 this time, feeling better about that.
You're going to be surprised. Are you ready for this?
No.
I rolled a 1.
Oh, no.
Okay.
We're so...
The gargoyle scrambles out from underneath and is going to flap up into the air.
Yeah. Shoot.
And kind of laughs at you, cackling. I think that's the gargoyle's turn. The other gargoyle, he's going to flap off in the direction of... actually, you know what? This gargoyle's real hurt. Going to flap off in the direction of only fighting Kakara. I think they've decided they can take out the flying people that will help them first. The other gargoyle is up there and is going to try and bite and claw at Kakara. I have rolled a 6 and a 16.
The 16 hits.
5 slashing damage.
I'm very upset.
Well, it is your turn.
Okay, so
Use it.
I'm just gonna pause and say, like, are we gonna try and fight everything? Or are we gonna try and like run away?
I mean,
Like, can we take all of this?
I think if anyone else goes down, our chances are limited because
I can like probably like fly in and drag people out of the situations and drop them into, we could.
From the great beyond, I will observe that we'll have a much better chance if you guys stop drinking potions and regaining hit points and start attacking these things.
Yes.
Well, we've drunk all the virtual potions that we had.
I did try to hit.
I've been a
Just
lousy
didn't
hit.
work.
I did bravely hide behind a bush.
Health is a team resource.
Well,
Okay. Well, like I'll do another round of trying to hit with my bonuses.
Now, I will say there may be some strategery here. Gargoyles, hard to hit, lots of hit points. Don't take half damage from your non-magical weapons. You don't know how hard ghouls are to hit or how many hit points they have. They probably are not made of stone and therefore take normal damage from your weapons. There's also a lot of them. So there may be a thing where eliminating some ghouls quickly would be, even though the gargoyles are already damaged. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you that's the right thing to do. It's certainly something to consider. I think it was pretty bad that and literally on the last round, I had 6 ghouls attack because the other ones basically spend their turn getting places. You probably don't want to be taking the group 12 ghoul attacks next turn.
If I leave the gargoyle though, I have to I can't move, right?
There's a ghoul that's pretty near you if you just want to attack.
Okay.
That ghoul.
Well, can I like lower down to the ground to attack? Or then I will use my daggers to attack that ghoul.
You kind of flap in the direction of the gargoyle as a feint and then try to stab a ghoul in the head.
And that is a 15.
15 definitely hits.
So that is 6 points of damage.
All right. Ghouls don't like that.
And then I also am going to use my other dagger on him. And that is a 11.
11 does not hit.
Okay. So that is what I do. I get a stab in on one ghoul.
That's what you did. Nyasa, you are hiding in a bush.
I think Nyasa has a better chance with 3 ghouls than 9 ghouls.
So you're gonna wait until the other 9 ghouls go back to like a shift change. Changing of the ghouls.
I mean, I could hide in a bush for a long time. No, I think I'm gonna sprint out from my cover and head over to as far away from the others as possible and try and save my friend Townley.
I would say just fighting those ghouls so that they don't continue to feast on Townley's unconscious body is a service that you're providing.
Yes. I mean, I when he regains, hopefully, his consciousness, I would like him to have the right number of arms.
I don't think there's anything. I don't think there's any way you can save me.
I want to try.
Okay, I appreciate it.
And if I fail, I will run away. But I will try first.
Do you have some kind of multi-ghoul attack you've been saving for this moment?
No. Well, I can do. I can attack one, and then I can do a bonus action attacking the other.
Okay.
So the one just above me, I will attack with psychic blades, and I have rolled a 17 plus 5.
That definitely hits.
And this is going to do 3d6 plus 3 damage. So we will find out how tough these ghouls are. 6, and a 1.
Good start.
So that is 12, 13. 16.
You tear a chunk. Oh, 16?
16.
That ghoul is still alive, but barely.
That's not a great thing. Okay, well, I can then use my bonus one and do 1d4 damage and see what it'll do to that one.
All right, you stab at it again with your left hand.
And, oh no, actually, I need to roll the thing to see if I hit it. That is a 15.
Hits.
Okay. And 3 damage.
That ghoul is still alive, but barely.
Is it alive?
Well, it's still undead,
Great
but
question.
barely.
It's still... Yeah.
All right. Bad news. It is Team Ghoul's turn. There are still 12 ghouls on the board. Let me just take a sense of where we are. 3 ghouls were standing over Townley, but have turned to face Nyasa.
Yep.
3 ghouls have engaged Neural. 3 ghouls have engaged Bellin, and 3 other ghouls are kind of milling around in the middle, trying to decide what to do. Let us start with the 3 ghouls that are going to attack Nyasa first. Critical fail.
I'm
21
surprised that the
and
ghouls do not continue to
22.
tear into my unconscious body, given that's what ghouls are designed to do.
Maybe
Yeah,
they
well,
like live flesh more than...
Something has come up and stabbed them
All right.
from behind. They respond to movement. Well, I did roll a critical fail, a 21 and a 22.
The last 2 will definitely hit.
All right, that's bad news. You'll take 14 total slashing damage, 7 from each. Now I believe because you are a night elf, you are not susceptible to the paralyzation thing, so you do not need to save against Constitution saving throws.
Yep. High elf.
Okay.
Want to keep pointing that out. High blood. So I have 10 temporary hit points, which I assume
You had 10.
Yes. Okay. And what was it? It was 14 total.
It was 14 total.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, I'm still standing, but these guys are pretty tough.
All right. These 3 have seen Nyasa run over that way, and so they give chase, but they are not as fast as Nyasa, so they are coming toward you. Back on the other side of the graveyard, 3 ghouls attack Neural. Rolled a 5, a 12, and a 14.
The 15 and the 14. Or my armor class is 14.
So the 14 will hit. You will take 7 slashing damage and give a Constitution saving throw. Try and get a 10. Ellen, I have rolled a 7.
I rolled a 9.
Oh no. Oh, a 10, 20. So you're going to take 7 slashing damage as well.
Do I need to save from?
Yeah, you need to save from
paralyzation?
paralyzation.
Did not.
Oh no. Everyone is being paralyzed. This may be a short episode. Oh no. I just putting little paralyzation marks on people. Neural, it is your turn. I believe when you're paralyzed, you are very limited in what you can do. And the main thing that you may be able to do is do a saving throw against paralyzation.
I think that's all I can do.
Okay.
And I roll a 13.
All right, you shake it off, but it costs you your turn. Townley, death saving throw.
6, a failure.
Oh no.
I am
you
now
slide-
at 1 success and 1 failure.
Yeah, you slide 1 step closer to death, but also you had slid 1 step away from death, so you're about equal in the middle, but like obviously a lot closer to death than anyone would like, right?
At least those 3 ghouls did not claw into me, which would have killed me immediately.
Yep. Bellin, there's horrible ghoul saliva coursing through your veins. I think you need to shake off the paralyzation.
Didn't do it.
All right. Gargoyles are next. This one gargoyle is really badly hurt. It is going to flap over and take up a perch on the top of the mausoleum and pretend to be a statue. This other gargoyle is pissed at you, Kakara, and is going to try and eat you. Fail and critical success. So,
Yay.
yay. You are going to take 8 slashing damage. How are you?
Thanks to the 10 extra hit points, I'm still doing okay.
Okay.
I'm just wondering, like, cause I kind of want to go in and like disengage and trying to drag my friends out of danger, but I'm not sure that I can do enough to get them out of danger.
I mean, I can disengage as well as an act. Well, not.
So
as an
you know
act.
what? We can talk with your psychic talking power to see if we can
Yeah,
figure out a plan
Well,
Things
to
are real
save
bad.
ourselves.
I'm
I'm
going to
thinking
give you a moment to strategize.
I could possibly grab Townley and make it disengage, grab Townley, make it into a grave as my turn.
Can I do like like a strength check to see if I can lift? I don't know if I can, but a dwarf and
And a barbarian?
a barbarian and
It would be
like
better for
lift
me
them
to try
out
and
of.
disengage.
But you're
Yeah,
are you paralyzed still?
I am unparalyzed now.
Okay,
I'm
you're
sick.
unparalyzed, so I could
Yeah.
maybe lift because I can't. Yeah, I could then maybe lift Bellin out of danger.
Let me ask you some real specific questions to help you out here. How many hit points does each person have? Because the important thing here is in terms of turn order, it's Kakara, Nyasa, and then the ghouls attack.
Yeah, that's the thing. I've got 17.
Uh-huh.
You might even kind of think about how many ghoul hits can I take before I go down.
I have 14,
That's
but
2
I'm
ghoul
also
hits.
can stay out of range
True.
because I'm in the air.
I'm not.
So I have to worry more about the gargoyle.
I've got 6 ghouls heading for me. So
Yes.
my options are kind of limited. If these graves do not work pretty quickly, as
Yeah,
Yes,
you're
if they don't
assuming
work
that
as we hope they work, we're
if
like
you just
it's a
dive into the
TPK.
grave and you're just there, I don't think that's a great plan.
no,
Convenient. It's a time saver for.
but you know,
it's
honestly,
like at least we're choosing where we're buried.
we don't.
He
have-
died as he lived in a grave.
But you know, beyond that, I'm dead when 6 ghouls catch
Yeah.
up with me.
Basically.
But I have a chance to pick up Townley, shove him in a grave, jump in a grave. I think that's doable.
Whereas I
Bellin-
could try and pick up Bellin, and then if I'm in the air, we just have to fend off a gargoyle attack because I can't pick her up and get to the graves because I can
You
my
pick
flying
her up,
distance is 15.
Drop her, pick her up again.
Bellin,
Yeah.
how much hit points do you have?
I have 17, so I've got 2 good hits,
And you are currently
done.
paralyzed, which is
Yep.
Mhm.
And Neural, did you say how many hit points you had?
32.
Okay. So Neural is the one healthy person.
Okay, so I feel like maybe we should try this. I'm gonna try and pick up Bellin. You're gonna try and grab Townley.
Yeah.
And
Keep in mind-
and then Neural will
okay.
see what we're doing and figure, or if you can talk to both of us. We will try to disengage and get to the graves.
Yeah, I think that's our. We get to the graves or we get to our graves. I think that's it.
Yes,
And
and this was a useless adventure.
no,
We
it was a
accomplished none of
very
it.
interesting
Well,
adventure.
We
Well, we
put
can-
that
we
baron
learned
to
something.
peace.
Yeah,
We
Yeah,
learned,
and we
But
can-
the,
but coming into this other realm, we have learned
we
it
can.
is
I think
difficult.
you've learned some valuable things about Barovia.
Yeah,
Yes.
we
Yep,
don't want to
exactly.
be here.
Never go
It's
there.
awful.
Yep.
Yeah, I think retreat and try and save as many of our friends as is possible.
Okay. So I disengage and fly to Belland and try to pick her up.
All right. The gargoyle. Oh, you know what? Here's a question. You could disengage, which I believe takes your entire move action, or you can just fly away and the gargoyle.
Disengage is an action, not a move action.
You're correct. It's your action.
Okay. So I could move and just hope the gargoyle fails to attack me or fails
to hit you. That would give you more movement than disengaging. Disengaging is a very tactical. I'm moving away without getting hit. Versus you may be more in a I have ground to cover situation.
Okay.
I have
a lot of ground.
I can do
the gargoyle has rolled an 11 to hit you.
That fails.
All right. You swoop down. You probably grab Bellin basically with your talony feet by the shoulders and lift her up.
Yes.
Give me a quick strength check to lift a armored dwarven fighter.
I got an 11.
I will. And you, especially, you've got some heroism pumping through your veins. I think you could have technically added a D4 to that. You scoop up Bellin, and now what?
Okay, so I am going to fly as close as I can. So these are each, I assume, 5 feet squares.
Yeah.
So we got 1, 2, 3. So this is 3 squares to get to Bellin.
Yep.
And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I've got 50 feet, how many squares can I move?
10 squares.
10 squares.
A lot of squares.
1, 2. Can I move diagonally?
Yeah.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think I can take us over to these stairs over here.
And if you use your action to dash, you can get your full movement again.
Yep.
Okay, well then I can do that, and then I can probably drop Bellin into a grave.
Plant Bellin into a grave.
And then so we'll find out if this works, and then I can drop into a grave. Well, you know what? I'm not going to drop into a grave myself in case I can continue to help.
Good choice.
Drop Bellin in, see what happens.
All right.
Yes.
Let us now there's an important medical question here about Bellin. Bellin, you were conscious when this turn started. Somebody just picked you up and grabbed you away from 3 ghouls that are going to attack you.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled incredibly poorly. I rolled a 7, an 8, and an 11. An 11's not going to hit you, right? So the ghouls are just like clawing at the space you used to be. So you're still conscious, but paralyzed as Bellin, you are dropped into a grave.
Cool.
Bellin, you are unable to move, and so you just see the kind of cold night fog roll into the grave. Your eyes kind of shift a little bit. It's hard. They're like the only part of you that's not completely paralyzed. And 1 second passes, and you are looking at a different night sky.
Am I
Does
still
she
paralyzed?
have the option
Night sky.
to roll for Constitution savings throw for her turn? She's not actually doing anything.
She
Oh,
Bellin.
it's not her turn. It's not her turn yet.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was her turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's not her turn.
Am I still
This
paralyzed?
happened on Kakara's turn. We'll say no.
Okay, cool. So I can get out of the grave.
Yeah.
All right,
Unfortunately,
thank
you
you.
wake
I
up
appreciate that.
paralyzed in the grave. The raven's looking over you and saying, "Oh, how sad!" As they then proceed because clearly you are dead.
Nothing good comes out of Barovia.
Yeah.
Nothing.
All right, Kakara, big turn. Nyasa, Nightweaver. I don't know what you're going to do next.
So I can disengage as a bonus action.
Wow. Oh,
as a cunning
rogues.
action.
Rude.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
That is rude.
I am going to do that. I am going to grab Townley. I am going to sprint to the top. Forget the plan about going back in the graves that you came from. There isn't enough time.
Nearest grave in a storm.
Grave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I am going to chuck Townley in the one on the far right, and I am going to jump into the one next to it. And
All right.
Yeah.
I just imagine you just kind of throwing him like a sack of potatoes in one grave and then swan diving into the grave next.
I mean, I think that's really all I can do.
Because I live for drama, I have to ask, do they get an attack of opportunity on me as I leave their area?
I don't think so. I think they were engaged with Nyasa. I don't think they're.
You're just food.
Do I take a point of damage as I am thrown into the grave?
I I don't think so. It's not that far down.
Okay, just checking.
Were you 1 point away from permadeath? Is that
No,
what you're asking?
If I take
No.
any damage while I'm rolling death saves, they count as failed death saves.
Oh, okay. Yes. Oh, yeah. I Townley throws you bodily such that you land right on your neck. Oh, I'm sorry. You are Townley. Nyasa throws Townley, strategically face first into the grave. All right.
So
I guess that happened. I guess because you took the disengage, I can't do anything about it.
that was my
So
plan.
Nyasa, Nyasa and Townley wake up back by Chalet Artifacts in an increasingly crowded grave. All right. I think this is where it gets tricky. We have 6 ghouls that are in the general vicinity of you, Neural.
I mean, we saved some people.
Yeah.
I'm not saved yet. I can
Knowing
still
you,
easily
Neural.
die.
Yeah, Townley is still dying, like rapidly.
I have no
A
healing.
lot of Townley's blood is still here. So I'm gonna roll 6 ghoul attacks on you, Neural.
Sorry.
Sorry, Neural.
Sometimes you have to make the difficult
I rolled
decisions.
8, and 11 on the first 3.
Okay, no good.
And I have rolled, a lot better on the second ones. I have rolled a 15, a 12, and a 22.
Hit.
Is that 2 hits then?
2 hits.
2 hits. That would be 14 slashing damage total. And you've got to make a Constitution saving throw against paralysis. Roll high.
Okay, just let me get the damage first, see if
Yep.
it matters. Okay,
Do it, Neural. We believe in you.
Even though we ran away, we believe in you.
But hey, I'm still here.
I only
I
got
can
an
still
8.
fly.
Oh no, Neural is frozen.
Oh no.
Well, Neural, it is your turn, so you can try and shake it off.
I will try and shake it off.
Shake it off. Shake it off.
Yeah, this paralysis attack they do with their claw is
21.
Well, you're out, but you were not able to disengage, which I think was your plan, right?
Yeah.
All right, Townley, you're fine. You're back in the other realm. Bellin, other realm.
Can I make
fine.
a death saving throw?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
15. I succeeded.
Yay!
All right. We'll say that you're also one of the Raven, where Ravens runs over and stabilizes you after that too.
Oh, hey,
So-
thanks, buddy.
There and the other where Raven says to Nyasa, like, short trip, huh?
I will relay to them what is on the other side.
What does that sound like, Townley?
Well, I saw the Queen of Air and Darkness. She was so beautiful. Oh, you mean before I died?
Yes.
There's another graveyard. It's real spooky, full of gargoyles and ghouls and stuff. And a giant castle, real foreboding, like.
You were totally right. We really do not recommend going there.
Yeah, our whole kill 2 ghouls a night plan doesn't seem so bad now, huh?
No, it's pretty good.
Carry on with it, I say.
Yeah,
Yep.
all of our party might not make it back, but, that's a lesson we've learned.
Y'all got any more of that porridge? I could really use some porridge right now.
Bellin, you're there. You're paralyzed. You can shake off the paralysis.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Yeah, like I'd like to get out of the grave. So
You
I
climb
guess
out of the
I'm-
grave.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess there's no point in me going back through because I'm
Pretty badly hurt.
yeah.
All right. Kakara.
Okay.
It's just you and Neural.
So I am
Save
going to
yourself.
use my move to go back and try and pick up Neural. So that's probably another strength check.
I think so. I think he is stout.
And I rolled a 24.
All right. You launch down with the determination of a hero. grab him by the shoulders and launch yourselves up in the air. The ghouls are scratching and clawing in your general direction. I'm going to have 2 of them attack Kakara. I have rolled an 11 and a 22.
One
Kakara,
will hit.
You'll take 7 more damage. And 3 of them are going to attack Neural. I have rolled a 13, a 16, and a 14.
2 hits.
2 hits. 14 damages total. Are you alive?
What was my damage?
Yes,
7.
I am still alive. I have 4 hit points.
Yeah, it's 7
I'm
damage
still alive.
a hit. All right, you're still alive. More than that, you're still conscious.
And
do
I
you have
am
any movement left?
I think, let me count. 1. Yeah, I could make it to a grave, toss him in, and dive in after.
All right.
I recommend you do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes!
you do. Everyone kind of comes to in a crowded grave back outside Branifax. The ravens, kind of help you all bandage up your wounds. But there's a lot of tut-tutting from the elderly ravens about, see what happens? This is why we operate the way we do. It is perhaps not the most heroic end to an adventure.
We saved the
excuse
lives
me, I
of...
feel like that
But
was pretty heroic.
You know what?
Nyasa was
Sometimes-
very heroic.
Mhm.
Sometimes the lives you have to save in an adventure are your
Are
own.
your own.
That was a byproduct of my heroic rescue.
I think there's probably the question each of you must face in your hearts in terms of, do you want to wait around and do this again, or is it time to leave this spooky house forever and never talk of the not so successful adventure to the Scarlet Sashes, to Chalet Brantifax here on the edge of civilization, and the next time any kind of bird or squirrel or woodland creature offers you a book, you just tell it to scram and throw that book into the woods. For answers to questions such as that, there is no episode. But friends, I think this is the end of Book of the Raven, one way or another.
I think they should put a sign on that graveyard, like
Yeah,
just sort
they-
of...
It's like, do not enter.
A couple of days later, after we're recovered, we're limping back to Candlekeep.
Yep.
If a raven comes out and says, "Hey, how'd that go?" I'm just going to throw a rock at it.
Just throw a rock.
I won't
Okay.
even stop you. That's how I feel about this.
Yeah, I think that
Well-
family can just resolve whatever drama is going on, and
I will tell you, you leveled up. There was some treasure to be found inside that mausoleum, but there were even more powerful undead guarding it. So that's probably for the best.
Next time, we make sure we have a cleric.
Yeah, that would
Yep.
have been a bit of a game changer vis-a-vis both healing and the undead. This is Book of the Raven, perhaps one of the most controversial adventures in Candlekeep Mysteries for its weird mismatch of stuff. But I think you all did as well you can. You've gained a level. You're on level 4 now. You've made friends with the Scarlet Sashes, which may be helpful down the line. Perhaps even someday, some of you will be welcomed into their embrace and become were-ravens on your own, or not. Maybe you'll never think of this again. But yeah, I will tell you, as someone running this adventure, I've run this twice now, once for a podcast, once for a group before that. There is the big question in the middle of this adventure, which is, why would you want to climb into a grave and go somewhere that's worse than where you already are?
Yeah.
And I appreciate that you made that nothing for me to overcome in the adventure itself, because the adventure as written offers very little in the way of motivation to do that. So
I mean, we've
Yeah.
learned a valuable lesson, I think.
yeah,
It's
hard. I think there's a tactical thing. That charm of heroism costing you an action was rough, because there was one round where a bunch of you activated that and ghouls just ran up to you and assaulted you.
I
So
thought
that
if I
it's like-
activated it, I might have had enough to take down the 3 ghouls that were around Townley, but it was pretty clear that that was not going to happen.
And I don't know. It's a lot of ghouls. The places that you happened to be weren't great. It was unfortunate that Townley, who can do a lot of damage, went down right away, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you Yeah, I don't know. It might have been. It would have certainly been a little different if you had kind of gone into that like, this place is spooky. Let's activate our thing now. But you never know, right? You don't know what you're going to deal with, and you obviously don't want to waste it.
And I think even if we'd survived those waves, if we'd gone into that mausoleum, whatever was in there would have probably taken us out.
One spooky kind of Death Knight, Soldier of Strahd, and his undead horse that were going to be real pissed at you. So
yeah,
If I didn't like Kakara so much, I would have said, just let you kill us all. But I like
Yeah,
her. I don't want her to die.
I was like, it's looking real close to like these characters are all dying.
I like
Also,
Nyasa too.
flying is awesome.
And I like doing the heroic saving of a friend.
Yeah, that was great. Thanks.
Yeah.
I am impressed that you were able to accomplish it.
I knew because I had the disengage as a cunning action
Yeah.
that was that could do it, but I did like weigh up. Clearly, as the chaotic neutral person, I did the sort of like, am I going to save him or am I just going to run? And I was like, we've got on well. We had a psychic link, so that changes you.
Mm-hmm. Monty, I'm sorry that you were unconscious for so long. I know that's always kind of,
that's fine.
it's like all I get to do on my turn is death saving throw. It's not.
I got to do a lot of the role playing segments
That's
of the session, so it's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the Scarlet Sashes as it's like we're just a bunch of ravens that live in this house and do weird things. Leave us alone.
I kind of want to join them.
Yeah, I mean, I do too.
There's a thing in there about like you could become and I don't know. I think you'd have to be like the you'd have to decide like, oh well, we're the excursion group. We're the group that goes out looking for bad things because you guys just sit in a house all day. But presumably there are people that bring them things that they then guard and stand watch over. It does say that there is about a dozen of the Scarlet Sashes, only 4 of which are in the space at a given time. So, yeah.
Only a dozen?
Well, I think
small secret organization.
they're a small secret society. They're local.
That's how you
They're
keep
not
secrets.
super secret.
I mean, they did just tell us when we walked
I was
up.
like, they told us immediately who they were.
Yeah.
We're a semi-secret organization.
I think they were really not prepared for visitors. I think no one had come into this house in a long time, and you guys were not bad. I think they're very, if you're hanging out with the same 4 people in a house for years, killing ghouls every night, and then some people who seem nice enough wander in, Townley, very charismatic. He's got those magic eyes. You're gonna open up to them is how I've decided they act. So, yeah,
it was fun.
Any other questions or things we should figure out? I am amazed. Nick, I was very worried. That's like, this is the first time Nick's played with me and he's going to get murdered. Nick is never going to play an adventure I run again. But Kakara saved you.
Yeah, that was pretty close. I just kept rolling bad rolls for paralyzing.
I did not hit the stupid gargoyles once. I think.
Yeah,
once.
I didn't get an attack against the against the
I think
ghouls.
Was there some way that they wouldn't have summoned the ghouls, or was that sort of premeditated?
No, they were going to show up after a couple rounds, no matter what. Basically, I think it's hard. Party composition would have been amazing to have had a cleric or town. I don't know. Would you unfortunately didn't get the ghouls also rolled a very high initiative, right? So they basically like climbed over a wall and attacked Townley. Townley, do you have like a fireball or something you could have launched it? Not at level 3, I guess.
I don't have a fireball. I was planning if I had survived, I would have cast Word of Radiance, which would do a d6 radiant damage to everybody within 5 feet of me, and then
so that would have shredded a squadron of them.
And then Misty Step, which lets me bounce 30 feet away, and I was going to go onto the other side of the wall.
Yeah. And it's hard, a dozen ghouls. It's a lot. They each have 22 hit points, which is like you're not going to take them down in a hit. Their armor class is only 12, so they're not hard to hit. But it's 12 creatures running at you is a lot.
They're harder to hit than I am.
Yeah. Well, you are, a traveler of air and darkness. You're a bit squishy. So
yeah,
all that air and darkness inside you. Would it kill you to be pledge yourself to the queen of armor and darkness? Maybe Townley.
I might want to get some armor.
Yeah.
I feel like Helen is unlucky. Every campaign that she plays is just.
No, it's. I think we have had a lot of ups and downs, and especially remember low level D&D like.
It's
characters
hard.
die.
Yeah.
You know, characters die, and it's up to you whether you want to now be like, now I'm gonna raise them from the dead, which is like having student loan debt, or you know, they die and now I'm going to play a different character. So it's hard to, you know, I think a lot of characters don't make it to level 5 just with depending on how the dice roll. So well, I think unless there's any questions, we will wrap things up for here. I know that, you know, this wasn't the tale of epic successes that we might have liked. You don't have any riches, but you survived. And that is sometimes how it goes with Dungeons and Dragons. So
life is the true treasure.
Some friends we made along the way.
I will thank players for joining us here for Candlekeep Mysteries Level 3, Book of the Raven. Nick Scott, thanks for joining for your first Tony adventure, but your second Total Party Kill adventure.
Happy to do it.
James Thompson, thanks for being here, running the stream, doing all that stuff.
Well, it's a pleasure, and I feel Nyasa had some moral growth. Didn't just run and save her own skin. So,
Elaine Sims, aren't you glad that I brought Barovia into this? Annette, you got to be Kakara again. You like that?
I do like that, and I do like flying, and I didn't die. It's a success.
And last but not least, Monty Ashley, thanks for being here.
Thanks. I technically survived.
And Total Party Music plays us out. Dun. Wow.
Yay.
Yeah, I
feel like I should be better at managing the almost killing everyone kind of thing because it keeps coming up.
Well, I mean, so long as
it is called Total Party Kill.
Yeah,
you could have switched to bites instead of claws.
I mean, when you say you got to be,
do they have a nibble attack?
They have a bite attack which doesn't paralyze you. But yeah,
when you say you need to be better about the almost killing, just to be clear, is that on which side of the killing do you want to come down?
You know, I want you to be successful. I want to put terrifying obstacles in your path and then have you overcome them to much accomplishments. But you know, you don't want to. I don't know. You don't want to make. You don't want them to be fake. It's hard. A cleric would make a big difference.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because healing is valuable.
Healing, radiant, all that, you know, they're
or even having a magical weapon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess
that's why I went for the magical blades, because the last time I did this, it was like, oh, we've got jackal wares and none of our attacks did anything.
Oh yeah, because they don't care about those. Well, sorry if that ending was a bit of a downer, but thank you for.
I think it
muddling
was
through
fairly heroic.
Yeah,
because
I like the way that ended. I thought that was
funny.
a narratively satisfying conclusion.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
Maybe I've gotten better.
We saved.
There are
everyone.
other times where people have run away, and it's just like, this one at least it felt like this is on the other side of a shadow crossing. It's like, let's just never go back there. There is one adventure where like James's character being kidnapped was like the MacGuffin, and it's like, well, we've got to go back and deal with James's character being kidnapped, right?
I mean,
so that
I think we're just going to hang out with the bird people for a while. That just seems.
Yeah,
like
if you guys want to like take a night off, we're happy to kill 2 ghouls. That'll be fine.
We need to like restore our confidence a little bit.
Yeah, 2 at a time as they're climbing out, not a dozen at a time.
Yeah.
So
clean up the house a little for sure, because
there's plenty of room. That place could sleep like 10. So
I mean, like we could prove ourselves to the lot of them that we are worthy of joining.
I think I've started uploading my file. Let me just check. I think you could, if any of you felt like your characters wanted to join the Scarlet Sash, I think that is a thing you could do.
I think it's a solid career path. I don't know what the downsides of being a were-raven are.
The criteria are you must become a were-raven.
Yeah, okay.
You need endorsement from. It's like joining a motorcycle gang. You need endorsement from at least 3 members of the. I assume there's probably like an initial hazing thing they do where you have to do like the boring stuff for a year.
I mean, we did unhaunt their well, so I mean, like we increased the
value
value of their
for
property.
At least 6 months.
I looked it up though. I'm just way cooler than a were-raven. So I thought about it and realized no.
Members of the Scarlet Sash have no obligation other than to support the group's goal of keeping evil items out of evil hands.
I mean,
Madrina would probably ask that you stop by Chalet Brantelfax on occasion just to keep you updated on what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a job at the moment, so...
You're not really a job taker, Nyasa. So...
Not anymore.
All right, I think I'm going to stop my recording, which I probably should have done minutes ago.
Recording stopped.
I'm going to stop the bootleg now.